time it is, buddy?
Fever time?
Yeah, man!
Fire.
Everything that you carry, any luggage you take, all the ghosts you keep in hiding, they don't scare me away. No, 'cause I can't stop falling in love with you. I won't stop falling in love with you. I can't stop falling in love with you, with you. It's a past that keeps on calling, or if fear keeps you awake. I won't let a scar keep me from your lips. I catch every tear from your face. 'Cause I can't stop falling in love with you. I won't stop falling in love with you. I can't stop falling in love with you, with you. I can't stop falling in love with you. I won't stop falling in love with you. I can't stop falling in love with you, with you.
Hello, refiners.
Ooh, sweet melon bar.
Hi, Mr. Milchak.
Helly, welcome. I'm agog at how well I can tell you're already fitting in. The office feels whole. Now, let's get this party started.
Whoa, wow. Okay.
She is. She got it. Come on, Mark.
Uh-oh.
Irvin, what you got? Let's see it.
And welcome everybody to another live stream. It is Friday night and we are going to deep dive into season 1 of Severance. You all have asked for it. We finally got around. At least I did. Dana already watched it, but I finally got to it. And guys, it was pretty good. All right, the clip was just a little taste of kind of the feeling and the vibe of that show, and it was, yeah, creepy, cult, corporate, sci-fi, OMG.
Hey, Scarlett, tell yourself to go fuck yourself.
Pretty much. I mean, sever it right there, Dana. You're no longer a person. No, it's weird.
You are no one.
Totally weird show. But yes, guys, welcome everybody to the live stream. It is Friday night, and yes, Miss Dana, how you doing? I know you were we were listening to some of the episodes right before. I know you were watching some.
Yeah, I was just doing a quick little like fresh up and watching it because I did watch it when it first came out. So, and I forgot how fucking bizarro this show is.
It was pretty wild. Like, even when you were watching it, just the little clip that I could hear where you were at in the show. And I was just like, the baby goats.
Goat, not the goat.
What does it all mean?
Weirdo dude feeding the goats. It's not time. It's not time.
But he only had one person in his department. Holy shit. You don't get to talk to nobody but baby goats. That's your life.
Oh my God.
But yeah, we're going to get into it, Dana. Before we get too far, let's say hello to you guys in the chat. And of course, I see Bitey. What is up, Bitey? Always a welcome sight to see in the chat. And glad you enjoyed the clip. And yes, we got Terry. Yeah, was it? I literally just made that right before we went on.
The dance party.
Because I was like, man, I wanted to do one, but I was like, gotta do the dance party, gotta do it right. This party started.
Dance party.
That was creepy too. Their whole incentive program was interesting.
Yes. Don't you want some melon balls?
I actually know that melon balls was pretty on point.
And some waffles, some melon balls.
I don't want the waffle thing. I do love waffles, but I don't want that waffle perk. That was weird. Not into that. And yes, Miss Terry is hanging out with us, and she is in the background with
she's
Dana.
Here.
Welcome with us always.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just a very weird. It's just weird.
Mm-hmm. No.
Like I just can't imagine living like this.
And yes, Bitey, so well made, and the actors are next level. Yeah, this was pretty good set of folks they got on this show. It was quite interesting. Because I mean, even just the way they set the season up, sort of going back and forth, was creepy. Because like they're just sort of giving you the mystery right off the bat, right? Like,
yeah.
Because I didn't know. Like, I know it was like, okay, you got this chip in your head, but I was even like, man, how's this working? It was just weird. Because when she first, because I didn't try to read too much about the show before I watched the first episode. I know you guys have told me a little bit about it. So when it opened with her on the desk, I was thinking the same thing she was. Like, did y'all like kidnap her? Like, are y'all kidnapping people and enslaving them in a corporate, like, slavery of some sort? Like, it was weird. You know what I mean? Like this weird.
Yeah, because you wouldn't think that somebody would like voluntarily do something like this.
She woke up on the desk. Like, it was just creepy.
She's been fighting tooth and nail from like day one.
But she did it to herself.
And I get that's what makes it more fucked up.
But like not like on an average level of some of these folks who did it to themselves. She's like part of the family.
I know, and that's like talk about a fucking twister.
Oh yes, buddy, the egg bar was awesome. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in the chat. So if you guys want to hang out with us and talk some Severance, feel free. Let me just copy and paste. And click all the buttons. Hang on, we'll get there.
Clicking buttons.
And then I'm gonna try to pin that as well for you guys. Almost there. And pin message. I think we're good. All right. The housekeeping. All right, there we go, guys. So the link is in the chat if you would like to come hang out with us. The egg bar, though, yeah. It was coveted. It was a coveted egg bar. To be fair, they don't know what anything else tastes like. So, they get the snack machine, and on occasion, the melon ball thing. Like, I don't think they got a lot of, like, extra food while they were at work.
I don't think so.
Where did they get that? Where was the egg bar? That was towards the end, right? Was the egg bar,
Yes.
yeah. It was the best. They did this when they made quota despite all the fuckery. They made it. There it is. And dude, he was, oh god, he played the manager like what I think of. Like, okay, my kid plays a lot of these like really weird Roblox games. And even like some of the kids will even do it in Minecraft where they kind of have some of them, but they're even creepier in Roblox. It just seemed like something out of one of these creepy games she played where it's like the manager, and this is literally hell. Like, you got on the elevator, ding, this is corporate hell.
I know, and just the way when they get on the elevator and you see them transition from like one quote unquote person to the other, like it's like seriously how it like just turns on and off like that is fucking creepy.
Just like the whole lot, like he's so creepy. The smile, and then even like, was it Irving or one of them was like, no, I think it was Mark. He told her like he doesn't have to be nice, and I was like, oh my god. And then it talked about how the security guy could like scrub their arms off, and he'll use the bad soap, and if you swallow something, you better make sure you let them know how long it's been in there so they can find it in the proper place, know which end to go from. I'm like,
yeah,
what the hell?
Pretty weird fucking protocols to have in place, don't you think?
Just a little bit. I mean, she was not happy. But it's crazy though, because even like for herself later to tell herself like, you are no one. I make the decisions.
And if you ever try to fucking do something like that again, like, damn. But then I'm like, okay, but you just got mad at her for hurting yours. Like, what you gonna do to her? Mm-hmm. Like, what could be fucking worse? Like, what could be worse than the torture you're putting this part of yourself in?
Oh yeah, but they have protocols, Dana. So it keeps them able to flourish. It's like Mark. You got promotion, protocols. Seems normal. Refill the soap dispenser in the restroom, sweep the floor, wipe down the desk, a little dusting, turn the tokens, everybody get their lunch, you're doing your stuff. All these things. Acknowledge Kier portrait, verbally or silently, Dana. You must make sure of that. Like, it throws it in there, right? You check refrigerator, acknowledge Kier. Inspect keyboards for weak keys, self-assess. Can I lead today? They're just sprinkle in that creepy, submit to. You got to submit to it, Dana, and you will be okay. And see, they provide the coffee for you. You don't have to worry about it. It's all there. You just come to work, which is your work is very, it's very important and mysterious.
Oh, it's fucking just weird. I don't know. I don't think, would you be able to do something like this? I don't think I could.
No. See, I probably, if myself put me in this place, and me and myself were not in a good place to begin with, so I might try to work within the system to like bring the system down. I don't know if I want to like full on delete self, but we gonna do what they did. I like Helly or Annie, because she was like, we doing this. But then I don't know if it worked out for her. Then when she found out who she was, that totally changed the game for me. I was like, oh snap, you screwed, girl.
Pretty much.
I was like, at least Irving, where's Irving at? Where's his butt at? He had a chance, I feel like, on the outside, because himself, his inner self seemed like he wanted to, he's a painter. He seemed like this stuff was kind of like leading through. What was it called? The dust room or something like that? Dust closet, dust room.
Oh yeah.
duster room, something like that. That one was worse than the break room. But yeah, he seemed like he was already trying to figure stuff out. So someone like Kim or Mark probably had a chance. She ain't have no chance.
No.
She messed up.
Especially knowing what extent her background was.
And look at the melon balls, Dana.
I know they're pretty. I want some melon.
They cut it so beautifully.
It's artistic.
It's almost too perfect. It's scary, but yet it's beautiful.
It is, right? Like, it's just like there's not a fucking ball out of... Those are perfectly placed balls.
It's very inviting. Like, they made sure, like, it's got... They took each... Like, these melons are the melons they use. Because, see, there's half of the cantaloupe and half of the honeydew. And they mel-balled them out, put them in each other.
I know. They're so dainty.
It's
so
attention
pretty.
to detail, Dana, that matters.
Yes.
It's where you find the devil. I'm looking. Where's he at in these melon balls? What's
Is
up,
this
Real?
what happens to us, Scarlett? Is
Yeah,
this
a
what
little bit.
happens?
Oh, I'm sorry, Real. I'm looking at screenshots. What's up, man? Everybody, welcome, Real Enigma,
Hey,
guys.
Real.
Bitey, drop his link. Matter of
Hey.
fact, I need to go ahead and give you a wrench. What is up, man? Happy Friday. I'm sorry. Welcome to my crazy house.
Oh, yes. I had to come up once I heard somebody said that the balls were perfectly placed.
Well, look, they
everybody
were,
likes
man.
perfectly.
It's the attention to detail.
Yes,
Have you seen
indeed.
Severance?
Yes, I love Severance. That's why I came. When I saw y'all talking about Severance, I'm about to share y'all live right now.
Let's
Awesome,
go.
man.
I'm about to share
Awesome.
this on. I'm about to share this on my YouTube page. I had to come in here when I saw y'all talking about this.
Nice.
Hold on.
Yeah, people have been asking us for a minute to talk about Severance, and Scarlett finally ripped off the Band-Aid and was like, I'm going to watch it. And I was like, let's go.
I did. I binged it. I screenshotted the crap out of it. We had a clip at the beginning, which I can play again later. It was just sort of like my little intro, and it was fun. It set the mood and the tone, I think, for the show that we're going to dive into.
Dance party.
Hey, what's up, Del Senior? How y'all doing? Bitey in the building. How you doing, Bitey? Anna's
We
in the
got
building.
Anna, your Anna. Welcome,
Yeah.
guys. And also, yeah, definitely welcome to her, because she is our lady. We love her.
Yes. She is our
Awesome.
from buddy.
Yes, she's
Oh,
awesome.
nice. Oh, y'all
Matter of
gave me
fact,
a
I'm
wrench.
gonna try to give you guys wrenches. So, guys,
Oh.
yeah, go ahead. You guys talk about it for a minute. I'm gonna try to do some housekeeping.
Yeah. You guys have wrenches on my channel too. I
Do
don't
we?
know if-
I didn't
yeah, I
even
don't know if you knew
notice.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I did that. I was messing around in the YouTube studio and I seen how to do that. And I was like, oh, let me go in here and make them mods. You know what I'm saying? So I went in there. And
Yeah, Scarlett just taught me how to do that too the other day.
yeah, I was like, where is that at? And it was in the settings. I was like, okay, I won't forget it this time. Yes, indeed.
No, this is a good show. It was a really good show.
Yo.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed the mystery behind it, but how fucked up if you see a fucking video of yourself telling you to fuck off.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I tell you one thing. She handled that shit the way she handled it. She sent a message to her Audi for sure. When she tried to hang herself in that elevator. Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
She
Cut
sent the
yourself,
message.
cut off some fingers. Fucking
Yeah.
shit.
You know, like that would be that's a trippy that whole thing is trippy. I think that most of the people in the town are severed. I think that Rickon and all his friends are severed.
It could be, because once they brought up the senator's wife and how she was using it for childbirth, it really made Mark's sister just sort of question, like, how far is this going to go?
Yeah, and then when she realized that the lady's husband was a politician, she was like, "Oh shit!" Like, and she seen how they kind of blew her off at the park when she seen the lady at the park. That was a coincidence. They meet at the park, and they also meet at the what's the name? At the birthing place. You know, those are
Yeah, I'm
some.
trying to remember the name of it. I've got a picture of it. I'm unorganized. I just threw everything in one folder.
You know, I don't have no Severance research except for my notes. I have a shit ton of notes. I haven't started like working on Severance yet.
All I have really are just the screenshots because just like you, man, I had barely scratched the surface. But I'm looking forward to season 2. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to.
I need that Lumen handbook and I need the Lexington files. Do you have those?
The what do you mean the book?
There's a Lumen handbook. There's like if you work for Lumen, there's a whole like
I'm looking it up now.
You talking about
yeah.
what Irvington had? Because he had
Nah.
like the little totes
Yeah,
where they
yeah,
get to like have the handbag or with the
there's a
little
Lumen handbook that helps you figure the show out.
Oh, I didn't know that was see because I haven't done any of the research. I finished watching it a few weeks back maybe
Oh
a month
man, I
ago or
I
so.
was on this show when it first started. I liked the synopsis so much. I wanted to see it. The synopsis turned a lot of people off, and when they watched the show, they didn't like it. They said it reminded them of their jobs. And I had a friend that had the same take on the show.
It was definitely like a weird corporate cult type hell. Like when they first because I didn't do any research on the show and I just watched through. The first episode, I was like, "Wait a minute, how?" I was like, "What's going on here?" Like this chick doesn't remember anything. She's laying on a table in an office, and it was corporate office, so you're in like a corporation. Like, what's going on? And as they kind of like developed the story, I was like, "This is weird." And then that sci-fi element got thrown in there with a chip, and I was just
Yeah.
like, "Oh, okay, this is gonna get really crazy," because
Oh, no.
perception's already altered.
Oh yeah, no
Like
doubt.
highly altered, right? Because this chick here's like living next door to Mark and basically like whatever her end goal is with him, which is weird. Almost as if like is that her son or something? Like it's this weird connection she has to him and his wife, everything.
Yeah, yeah. It's real crazy. And then she seems to be severed as well, but both sides of her seem to be aware of it in
Mm-hmm.
a weird way. Like one time she said her mother was an atheist, and one time she said her mother was a Christian, devout Christian, or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. She said, yeah,
Yeah,
I gotta dig
she
back into
flipped
my
through
notes.
like her phrases from when she was like in the job sort of standing and then when she was outside of that job life.
Right, she was very contradictory at the same time, and her demeanor changed as well. Like when she was home, she seemed more of like a Susie homemaker type, like baking cookies for neighbors and shit like that. And
But see, because I wondered if that
what
was
I'm
all an act. It's almost as if a lot of that she was playing up just to get to Mark.
right,
Because she was worried about the chip. She's the one that discovered pretty much she knew who was the one that, redid the severance or whatever. And knew
right.
like sort of where to go to get it. Like she got it out of the dude's head. I was like, oh my God, chick. All right, next level, you boss.
Yeah, she
She
went and
wore
got
it
the
around
chip
her.
out of his head real
She
quick.
put it on a necklace and like wore it around, like, oh.
Oh yeah, that right there was crazy. See, I had some notes about that stuff too. I have to go back into my notes. I got to start doing some severance videos for sure. Like,
No, it's definitely worth a deep dive into the episodes because just there's so many levels to it, right? Because it's just that upfront sort of corporate feel, right? They're kind of everything's streamlined, but it's not just streamlined, it's streamlined to the what I'm probably going to say the name Lumion or Lumon
Lumen.
Lumen.
Hmm.
So it's streamlined to that corporation or whatever that they're calling themselves corporation, but I think it's a little bit more cult like than that. And it's just weird how everything in their world is centered around this almost like I said, cult like belief of behind you're doing it for the corporation. It was a weird they kind of did it in the game BioShock, where they wanted everybody to kind of follow you do this, it's gospel, but yet they were still bringing capitalism into it.
Yeah. You know, I have had people at work like that take the job so seriously, almost in like a cultish manner. Okay, Anna says that the Lexington letter, the handbook is a part of the Lexington letter.
Okay.
Oh, let me look that up.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for it, and I'm not seeing any like just.
No, I will definitely. Matter of fact, let me re-put my link for the Discord, or even put this stuff in Real's Discord, because I'm over there as well, so we can definitely try to figure. Because if that's out there, I definitely want to get my hands on it. Because this show is so weird, like from the way they give you like the sort of protocols and these like weird scriptures, but they're just like, this is how you kind of do it. And it was just, I don't know, the whole show was very interesting. And then what was it?
It's fucking weird that no one knows like what the company does or what.
Okay, so it's weird because it's like, dude is God, right? What is his name? Keurig or Kieran? And then these images show up throughout the show: the goat, the jester, the wife, and the weird other dude. And they do it at the end with the waffle perk. It's in a lot of the main manager chick's altar. So it's just weird. I don't know. And these were supposed to, I think, represent things that he was trying to, I don't know if they were supposed to stuff he was casting away, or trying to, like, maybe even his wife was keeping him away from being a better businessman or something. Temptation. I don't know. It was weird.
So you can't download it anymore. Ah, that sucks. They have it at Apple Books.
I'm going to put the Discord in the chat as well for you guys again. Another invite. And again, welcome, guys. Happy Friday to you all. Hope you had an awesome week, and it is the weekend. Nothing better.
Terry's very excited that it's the weekend.
I was on my work school grind.
Oh, man. Yes. So, yes, I know you're happy.
Yes.
Yes, everybody. That's my cousin Terry in the background.
Hey, Terry.
She floats around here every so often.
I float around.
I put a link in the private chat.
Yeah, Freya said that she could even send it over. So
guys, there is the link for our for my channel's Discord, and I gotta put yours in there too as well, Dana. So if you guys want to check out Dana's Discord for some D&D action, D&D talk, that's just some little housekeeping. We will be caught right back up, guys. But yeah, you guys go ahead and talk about the show. I'm gonna do a little housekeeping.
Yeah, there's so many different nuances in this show as well. They're poking fun at a lot of stuff. I love the pictures and stuff that you've gathered so far. I'm definitely gonna start going through Severance and picking out some of the good stuff. I'm gonna go do a rewatch, probably.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I was doing, because I was like you. I watched the show right when it first came out, so I don't have that like fresh.
Exactly.
And like I was playing some of the episode today, it's like, is that the goat? Is that the goat?
Yeah,
what the fuck is up with the big goat?
I know. I didn't even take time to really like take my screenshots episode by episode. So I know which episode is which. I just put them all in one file, trying to get through them. Where's the goat? The goat was towards the end, right? Which episode?
I think it was like episode 6.
Yeah. It was before overtime. Here it is.
I think
they're not ready. They're not ready.
The work that they're doing is like, I think they're killing people.
I thought they were sacrificing these goats.
And
that was horrible.
I don't know what they're doing with the goats. Like, that just threw me all off. I'm not
because
sure
they got like the goats and like the sheep head or whatever kind of thing going on.
Yeah, and then they've got this guy saying that they're not ready. and he's
Mhm.
sitting there feeding one with the bottle. Like all of that whole shit is weird and like what the fuck is. You
And
know
he's
what I
always like
mean?
on
How bad do you
edge.
feel for this guy? Like every department is like supposed to stay within their department, right?
Yeah,
He's one person, right? So far
right.
that he's one person in his department. He was so essentially it's like he's never had any sort of outside people ish to
Well,
talk
here's
to.
the other thing about this guy, right? He acted as if he wasn't startled to see that they were there.
True.
He was like, yo, they're not ready yet. You know what I'm saying? And he was like trying to emphasize that these goats were not ready yet.
Mhm.
And it made me kind of think that okay, so it's normal for people to come there and get the goats or something. You know what I mean? Like it's obvious that he sits there and someone comes and gets the goats.
Mhm.
And he's saying, "Oh, yo, they're not ready yet." And I wonder what makes him ready. Is it that he's giving them a dose of some sort of medicine or something? I don't know what that ghost shit is about. Like, your guess is as good as mine.
It just made me go to super creepy vibes, mostly because of how they like the weird images and stuff that they're coming up with. And some of these are just propaganda, I would think, to make the department stay separated so they don't kind of do all this cross stuff. I mean, that's why he kind of put this image out there.
Hmm.
But there was an original of this. So it's like, and they had the whole backstory of these two particular departments of what was it, MDR and optics and stuff.
Hmm.
And it was just, oh my God. I was like, how far is it just them really just messing with people's perception? And then how much of the show is there a more underlying, like creepy, maybe even I don't want to say supernatural vibe, but just a super like creepy cult vibe?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the it's definitely cultish vibes going on. Especially what gave me the realest cult feeling was what's her name? Patricia Arquette's character. What is her name?
I'm
Miss
still
Special?
trying to
The
the
boss.
manager chick.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, or are you talking about the one that's like the talking one,
No,
the talking head?
you
Okay, you're
know,
talking about
yeah,
this
the
chick.
Patricia Arquette. Yeah. Like this right that picture right there is what gave me the most cult vibes.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
You know what
everything
I'm
came out of her mouth
Yeah, and
was
yeah, very vibey, like she was on some cult shit, like very dedicated to this place in a weird way.
so
And
much so that she had this altar.
exactly
Okay,
the
Freya just
altar.
sent me the handbook. I'm sending it over to you, Scarlett.
And I'll tell you who else gave me cult vibes was Ed was it Ed, is Edgar his name? The one that's played by
Irving or
Irving. Yeah,
yeah. Hang on
Irving,
one
the
second,
John
guys.
Turturro's character.
I'll be right back, Dana. Hang on. Yo, you guys, you
Well,
got
did
it,
you
Dana.
not hear like what he said to the dude when they trapped him in the room? He was like, "Oh yeah, we kind of have this joke that you guys have this like larva pouch that's gonna like grow a baby something and come out and take you over or eat you." And I was like, "What the fuck?
Yeah, where would like what
What?"
the fuck is that?
I was like, "What? What or what?" I was very like, "Really?" He's like,
One
"Yeah,
thing
we're scared."
one thing about the optics department is that they seem more mature than the other department, like at R&D. They seem more mature. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes,
they
they seem
Mm-hmm.
more compliant.
right, they seem more compliant, they seem more mature. They were acting like more like adults
Are
than
you talking about the optics? I'm sorry, I just stepped away
yes,
for
the
a second.
optics department seemed more mature than the R&D department. R&D seemed
Mm-hmm.
really immature, like children.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Mark's character is just like that giddy, goofy kid who's just like happy to be here at school, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Irving is kind of the same way. He's kind of like the kid that brings the teacher the apple all the time, every day and shit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like, he kind of gives the vibes like, yeah, I bring an apple for my teacher every day.
You sent
Dylan
your handbook,
Dylan is
Sarah.
like
Yes, I'm trying to get that pulled up.
Dylan is like that kid that is at he always works really hard, gets like works with the group of
Mm-hmm.
kids on a project, and he's the one that really takes over on the project and works really hard and stuff like that. I don't know, it just gave me children vibes. And that totally connected to Rickon and his friends. Rickon was like that kid that listens to his big brother and always like regurgitates what his big brother says or something. He was just real youthful to me. And all of his friends. Like, look how that dude, when he found the baby, Mark found the baby, and then he acted like he was the one that found the baby. Oh, I'm the one who found the baby. It was me.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that was
who the
I
fuck
was so
does that?
irritated with his like that dude. Yeah, his Mark's sister's husband, his whole friend group kind of they irritated me more than the corporate stuff,
And
which was
what made
weird.
me feel like they were severed was the one woman's name was Rebecca. Like, her name was Rebecca. It wasn't Rebecca, Rebecca. And
Mm-hmm.
it just seems like an abbreviated or shortened name, just like Mark S. or Helly R.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Rebecca. It kind of just fits the same way. And then in that last episode where they were having the book reading, they had all them books sitting around on the table, and they told him that he had to share a book with Rebecca. And
Mm-hmm.
they said she smells like bologna or something, or she smells funny or some shit they said about her. And she was like, yeah, if you sit by me, don't worry about that little scar in the back of my head. I've had that since I was little.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. I'm like, okay, that's a severance chip scar, probably. That's from her being severed or some shit, maybe. And the place that they live doesn't really exist. However, when Helly R was on the table and they were asking her like questions and they were questioning her, she I think she said Delaware, which is actually a real place. When they said, name a state,
Yep.
and she said Delaware.
Like
But
first one that came to her mind.
right, you know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, okay, so she has knowledge of real places, but this place that they live in isn't real. I don't know. It's real strange. Do any of you know where the show is filmed at?
I do not know any of those details yet.
Mm,
I'm definitely looking forward to deep diving it just because of all the creepy little hints and even like what Anna's saying about the water references. And she is talking about all those references and even the names in the show. She's Dylan and Irving translates as fresh water and spring water or something like that. So yeah, if they're definitely doing things like that, you know me, Dana. I love to deep dive into some weird
Yes.
stuff like that. I will look up everything I can on this show, and now that I do, and I do have that handbook too. So if you guys want to check that out, I can bring that up.
Yeah, that would be cool.
yeah. Oh, you found the handbook.
Right, yeah,
Anna,
Freya sent it to me.
yeah,
Oh, I need that. I need that. Send that to me too, sis.
All right.
let me just bring that up. And then let me figure out how to make it look right for you guys as well. Let's see. Yeah, see, do you know how to make the screen? Like I zoomed in, but it doesn't zoom in when I zoom in. Like it doesn't zoom in through, like on here. Am I supposed to do something differently? Because I don't know if you guys will be able to read it.
I will not.
Because I know the Control Plus will zoom in for me, but I don't know if it zooms in for you guys. Did it zoom in?
No, it didn't.
It didn't. Yeah. Yep. I'll figure that out at some point.
Okay.
But this is the handbook.
Oh no, I can read that.
Okay.
Yeah, I unfortunately can't.
Says I received a letter below from a severed employee at Lumen. I
I
also
sent
gave
it to
an
you.
employee handbook. Okay. Where'd you send it, on Discord?
On Discord. I DM'd you.
Okay, nice. Thank
All
you.
right. So there.
Hi, Star.
Okay. So this is apparently like a message from someone to a reporter.
Oh, and Leave It to Bitey. Filmed in Bell Labs Hamdell Complex in New Jersey.
Okay.
Ooh, interesting. And welcome, Miss Star. Always glad to see you hanging with us. Hope you're having an awesome Friday night.
Oh, okay. So this is where those stories were. The Lumen Handbook and the Lexington letters are in the same thing, huh?
Oh, okay, that's what she was saying. So the book is compiled of the letters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Look
gonna
at
have
the
to
little
read through
Lumen.
this. I thought it
Look,
was like gonna be more like symbols and stuff, but yeah, this is something I'm gonna have to like read through and highlight. Maybe like certain phrases or key.
mm. One thing says there, take pride in knowing that you've been selected for your vast intellectual prowess.
Mm-hmm.
We know you may be curious about what the number means. However, knowing the true meaning behind the numbers could inhibit your natural intuition. Oh,
Yeah, they tell them that what in the little portfolio thingy that she goes through. I keep Helly. I want to call her Kelly because it's just Kelly rolls off the tongue, I guess, more. They messed me up when it was Helly. I don't know. Because it's Helly, like Kelly, right? But it's Helly.
mm-hmm.
Well, she represent, yo, because isn't her daddy, like, or grandfather, like, important family?
I think that was her father.
Was it her father? I couldn't remember if it was her father or grandfather at the end. Let's see if I got a picture.
It seemed like her grandfather because he's older, but the
Mm-hmm.
stuff that they were saying seemed to like father.
That's what I said. I couldn't tell. Like, and I was like, "Oh, who is it? Oh, where did he go?" And I thought I had a picture with her and him.
So it pretty much breaks down like what your job is
Mm-hmm.
for just this one department, interdepartment fraternization. It doesn't break that. Does it break down anything else about any other departments and what they do?
Not that I remember seeing, but again, there might be some stuff out there.
So this is the handbook for
There they are.
MDR.
Yeah, it says the Lexington letters from the minds behind the Apple TV show original series Severance.
Mm,
Oh, so Star said, yeah, her father, because he said her grandfather would be proud.
right. Yes. Yes. Hello, Star. How are you? We have Star. We got Bitey. We got Anna. We got everybody in the building. We got Delcinia.
I know. I'm trying to read through
I
the.
know this is the. I'm gonna have to like really
Yeah,
read this.
that's what I said. We're gonna have to read
And
through this and really pick out some
I'm
things
gonna have
to
to print
really.
this shit, make highlights, little notations,
Mm-hmm.
little sticky
Yes.
notes.
I'm
The
already ahead. I just sent this to the printer when you like a few seconds before you said that.
the
Yeah,
murder boards,
you're
all
just
that
ahead
stuff.
of
It's
me.
I need a new house, Dana. I don't have enough room for all the murder boards for the TV shows.
I know. My D&D maps take up enough room. I don't think I have room for murder boards.
I have to make them digitally, I guess.
Yeah, no, nothing, no mini things, no.
You know what you're gonna
Dude, yeah, this is awesome though.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
definitely gonna read through
Okay.
this. It's gonna be some good bedtime reading.
Yes.
I'm gonna bring back up these screenshots.
Yo, we gotta connect with Anna on this because
Oh yeah,
she
she's
might have
on it.
yeah,
Her and Star, you guys, y'all are on it.
yeah.
Yeah, there's the guy that
What are
was.
some of your theories, Star and Anna?
Yes, let us know, guys. Tell us what you think
What
about the
are the
show.
people doing? What is the job at what is it? Data refinement? What is it?
Yeah, they're
RDR?
refiners.
Yeah,
MDR.
MDR.
Um,
What are they doing? What is the actual job or
Micro data refiners
yeah,
or something
what
like
is
that.
that?
Well,
What are they
season 2 is coming out January 16th.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's the air date for the new season.
That's perfect. I mean, right in between seasons for From.
So yeah,
Yeah.
they have to do a feeling, right? Some numbers are give you good vibes, some give you really bad vibe, and you box them up.
Mm.
What do the numbers mean? They don't know.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
are
I
they?
know nothing about computers, so I like coding and all that stuff. My brain does not work that way. So
Cause
I have
see,
no idea. Is that what coding looks like when people do that sort of stuff?
You know what's so crazy about this? That shot right there that you're showing
mm-hmm,
is that it's like a old school computer. It's like,
mm-hmm,
but you could tell that it's new. Like you have a
yes,
camera right there.
mm-hmm,
The way that everything is designed is more of a newer style of designing, but it's the old, not style, but
like
Yes.
the
A
screen, the
lot of the equipment that they used and showed on this show had a primitive, and I'm saying primitive as an older
retro.
feel to it. Yes,
very
retro.
retro.
But it all looked shiny and new. Like
Exactly.
it
It was
just
all
came
like
out of a
shiny
box.
and new, right? And it just it looked like it was designed today with a retro vibe in mind. And the only reason why I think and it looks like they use like the same kind of processors, no graphics processors and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. You know, like graphics from a Nintendo game. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I was trying to find the one where she gets her, and it shows like the little video clip.
That's what I was talking about. The
Yeah.
graphics processor was just like old as hell. Hey yo, how do you make your pictures come up at the bottom like that of your joint?
Okay, so I'm
I did that shit by
using.
accident in one of my streams and I was trying to get it back.
Right, so down here in this, was that left corner? It says hide film strip,
Go ahead.
and click it again, and it pops it back up.
Oh, let me
Is
see.
that what you're talking about? The film strip down here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's
It
in the
looks
bottom left corner.
let me see.
It's like down in this little. It says you can type F for key to do it.
I forget how I did. I did it by accident
I
last
did
time.
too, and then I just like was like, how the hell did I do that? And then eventually I was like clicking around, I found it, and I was like, oh wait,
Okay,
there it is.
it's there. And you could pick multiple pictures too.
Probably yeah. Is it
Yeah,
over
when
here
you
in one of these things?
no, well, you just you there's a box that you click. You can pick multiple.
Which
It'll
one is
show you
this
multiple,
one? No, that ain't it.
like
No.
down in the film strip. Like in the film strip, you
Oh
can,
yeah, you do like. Oh yeah, that's right. You do like this. There you go. That's right.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you click the ones you want to check out. Right there.
exactly.
What episode was that? It's just like episode what, like 7, 8? Was it before the? No, because that was at 74. The party was 74%. Dang it, girl! Where
Man,
did you win?
looking at through all your pictures, I just realized that I have so much damn work to do with Severance.
I
I
know,
was
because
just
I
gonna
was
start
trying
going
not to
live
even
talking
go
about it.
crazy on the screenshots, but there was so much. Like again, with these shows, you want to like make sure you're catching all the little things or clues they might be throwing at you.
I was just gonna start going live talking about it and then taking clips of my live and uploading them as videos. But I do want to create some videos like how I've
Mm-hmm.
done
The
before.
map. I also want to look at that map.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
the
here
map.
was where she got her 100%, and he gave her his praise. Like to me, it's almost as if I don't know if any of the work they're doing is even work. It's almost as if the severance program they're trying to get passed through legislation to make it even more than what it is now, and these are almost like their test dummies.
And you know, in most cases, when you see them trying to pass something, they've already been doing the shit anyway. And they just want to pass it now to get that official approval, I guess.
But it's
But
just
I
so
mean,
weird how the
clearly
departments
they've been
are.
severing people. Like if this senator was able to get his wife severed for childbirth because she didn't want to go through the whole entire childbirth situation, That's crazy as hell. Imagine that. Imagine like you wake up and you're 9 months pregnant and you're at this place about to have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So what do they do? Like wake her up every once in a while and tell her like, hey, you're pregnant. You're gonna be, we're gonna wake you up. Like imagine like the wife of that
Yeah, I know.
senator.
Like, wouldn't you notice like a fucking 9-month, 10-month fucking time skip of your life?
Yeah, you wake up just like when you go to work. It's just probably just like when you go to work. You just wake up and you go up you hit the elevator and boom, you're there. But that was one of my predictions when I was watching the first season. I was like, oh, so they can control that sever shit outside of the place. They don't have to go down in that elevator. And then and that was the first thing that made me think that, because I was like, what elevator did this lady have to go down in order for her severed person to be in control of the body? So I said there has to be some kind of like master control where they could turn it on and off. And then boom, they showed us that there is actually a master control. So yeah, I mean the master control thing, and the lady, the boss lady, what is her name, y'all? Down in the
Hang on,
chat.
I'm gonna bring up. Yeah, if they don't get it for you, I'm just gonna bring up the cast.
I don't want to keep calling her Patricia Arquette. Patricia Arquette was in I think she was in the first Freddy Krueger movie. Harmony. Yes, Harmony.
Yeah, Harmony, but yeah, that was
Oh,
her actual name, right? Or did she have two?
Miss Cobell.
Miss Cobell was her work name. Yeah.
Harmony Cobell was her name.
It
And
was almost like she said two different names, but I couldn't remember. I wasn't keeping track when I was watching through.
right.
She's ballsy though, man. She went into that dude's funeral with a fucking drill. And
Okay, so
that was
that,
ballsy.
all right, so I think that was her severed not, I think that was the real person. And I think her severed person is the one that works down there. I think she's severed. She has two different demeanors.
Except at the end, though, right? Because she was fired, and the way she talked to Kelly
like,
here, she knew.
It was still like Miss Cobell.
Yeah, but she had already been fired.
She reacted
and
like
it was like the whole way
knew.
through, she got angry even after she got fired. She went home and like destroyed her little
Okay, Miss
altar.
Selvig and Miss Cobell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
so she has two different names.
Mm-hmm. Because she's trying, because they're really like, it's almost as if the certain managers and people in the job are not severed, because not everybody in that company is severed. It's only like almost as if it's that floor. Not that other people don't have other severed chips for other
Mr.
reasons.
Milchek is obviously not severed.
Mm-mm.
He seems just too knowledgeable on both sides. I think she's severed though, because she definitely has two different demeanors. She could be acting.
I think she's acting to placate to like Mark and them.
Do you have a picture of the control booth? Because her name's on there, so she is severed.
Let's see. Let me see if I don't know if I have all of every
Let me
one
see if
of
I can find a picture of the control booth.
No,
I don't think she's acting because her name is on the control booth.
Mm-hmm.
So if her name's on that control booth, then that means she's severed. You could there's
That's
a
true.
switch. Yeah, there's a switch by her name. Hold on. Let me see if
I'm trying to because I know what you're talking about. I'm just trying to see if I took a picture of all the names.
Can I put pictures in the chat?
In the private chat, possibly. I don't think you could do it in the YouTube chat.
No, not at all. I know.
Okay. You might be able to put them in the private chat.
I may not have gotten the names. I'll go back and make sure that I try to get those.
Okay, so
because I thought I got at least their names where it showed them. But that's right, they went back, so I got to go back a little bit further.
Episode 8 is the thing where we see
Yeah, because I got where it showed their names for MDR, and then I don't think I got it for everybody else's. So I have to go back and get where they show all the other departments.
Yeah, it
That would
showed
be
there's like
interesting,
a
Star.
scene where they show, and I remember
Because
I
I got the
paused
one where it's
it.
got MDR, because I was like, ooh, that's their department. You know, I was just quickly going through. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat real quick. Anna saying they are working on their own severed minds and other severed employees, although there's different information in letters. Star says it's a little too close for comfort at my job. Our biggest complaint is work/home life balance. We work around the clock and we are losing good folks because they choose to have a home life. It's a spoiler if you didn't read Lexington letter. Okay. It looks like an old terminal. Oh yeah. Okay, let's see what else you guys are saying. Yeah, and I did Bitey look that up as well, so I'm gonna bookmark that site. Is it the one? Let me go back and see which one I had. Oh, where did it go? The Lumen Industries
I'm
wiki.
watching episode 8.
Bitey, is that the one? The site you were wanting me to look up? Like, that's what when I typed in, that was like the first thing that I think came up. Let me get back to the chat, see what you guys are saying. Catch up. So it's either Severance or AI is creepy. And the chip, yeah, to be fair, once they introduced the overtime, it really set in how much well, it was already kind of there. You pretty much already knew how much the corporation had control over your memories. They say that, like, I think the second episode. But yeah, it's even more so how they're able to just to do that whenever they so choose. Like, or I would not want them having that much control over your brain.
Exactly. What if they put a kill switch in that shit or something?
Yeah, I wouldn't have no shit. I wouldn't want no shit in my brain like that. That's out the question.
Like that. I don't know. There'd have to be a lot of zeros in that check to make me even consider something like that.
Mm-hmm. Star says it could be a Westworld thing.
That's what I found interesting.
There's not enough zeros. You could put a Google of zeros in there, and I would not do that shit.
I know, right? Sometimes the price is just not worth it.
Okay.
Not
It
even in
says
the
also
slightest.
interesting info at MDR. There are always 4 employees. Yeah, they seem to keep their departments. That's what I'm saying. It's almost as if like the way they show these departments set up, it's nonsensical, but yet it's catered for them to almost as if they are molding these employees to be loyal above and beyond to the company. Like even the work, I don't feel like their work matters in certain ways. It's almost as if it's not about the work really. It's about you following what we're telling you to do without question, mindlessly, protocol, smile on your
Yeah,
face,
I think it's a way for them to see
how far they can
how.
get people to go
Yeah.
through with this. It's almost like
Yes.
they're their lab rats. And I don't mean like for the chip itself. That part has already been figured out, like how to
How much
implant
of your
it
free will are you willing to give up?
and how much can they control that. Like that part of the control. Like they know the severance chip works. They know they can sever you. They know that they will have that sort of aspect covered. But to be able so people do not which is what ends up happening at the end of the season, right? They were trying to make sure that protocols were put into place so that none of the innies and the outies would have certain contact. Like they were testing the waters of all that stuff. But then there's these other elements, like I said, with Miss was her name? Dang it, I can't remember their names either. Dana, this chick, she was very much so interested, almost separate from the board. Like she was trying to let the board know, like she knows best. Like she knows something prophecy almost vibes that they're not willing to accept.
Who? I can't see who you're talking about.
Miss what is the main manager
Harmony?
chick? Harmony, yes. Because her whole like vibe is very much so like she worships
Oh yeah, she's like that. She's also like the employee that um brings an apple to the damn teacher. You know, she's a real suck up kind of. And
Yeah.
Miss Cobell wasn't feeling her either.
Mm-mm. No, Miss Cobell though, she is definitely like super weird.
Seems like she has a. It seems like she has a hidden agenda against this place. Miss,
Well, because she has the altar. To me, it's more like she's so committed. Like it's to her the gospel that is spoken to them. These little prophecy kind of things that they talk about. These little scriptures, almost like those are gospel to her. She says other little things, but to me, those are things that she's trying to use as a tool to control the employees in one form or another, whether it be at the job or at the home life. Because those are almost two separate people yet the same. So she will kind of change her demeanor in order to suit which version of that person she's sort of talking to get the outcome she wants. But in the end, this is who she is devoted to. So much so that if you like really looked at some of the stuff she had on this altar, it wasn't just his stuff. It had to do with the college, right? I think a lot of these people went to like the same college, and it shows her achievements. School for Girls. This is Harmony Cobell. This is her achievements mixed in with sort of whatever his deal is. So I don't know if she's related to him or if she is just really in love with this company.
Or
maybe
it is
she's like
something biblical.
maybe she's his illegitimate child. Like she seemed to me like an illegitimate child of one of the care people. Like
Possibly.
like the mother worked there and passed away, but the mother had an affair with one of them, and she was like the illegitimate child of that. Y'all saved the file from this live that I said that. I don't know if anybody else has theorized that yet, but I think she might be an illegitimate child of one of the care people.
That's definitely possible because what was it? Kelly said at the towards the end where she's kind of going through that little presentation and it has her Audi sort of explaining how she always thought like we're all family and she thought she had all these illegitimate children
Right,
or brothers and sisters. I'm sorry.
right, right. Helly felt like that when she was growing up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find other ones of that because I was taking them in between their three.
I'm here. I'm here trying to find her name on that thing here. I'm doing it now.
You know, that has to be weird too. You man, you come from the overtime and you're now in like your Audi self and you're walking around seeing what yourself did. Yeah, I'd have
Oh
lost my daggone mind.
yeah, it really made Dylan lose his mind for sure. I mean, you wake up and then you find out that you have a whole beautiful son here. You know what I'm saying? You
All
know,
right, Anna. Well, we enjoyed you hanging out with us tonight and hope you come join us again.
Yes, bye, sweetheart.
And I'm so glad, I'm so happy you enjoyed the conversation. And I enjoyed all that you gave us on the show. Definitely need to have you come back
yes, yes, indeed, yes,
and
indeed.
pick your brain.
Because those paintings, those drawings, definitely, I got those like apocalyptic vibes from, like
Oh, they were all creepy.
something you'd see in like somebody predicting end of days shit. Like, you know, in any TV show or anything you watch, there's always those ominous paintings. Like even from Evil, you're like the big painting that they had. Like it just screamed that like end of days vibe.
Mm-hmm. And what was I was trying to find? I know it's down here at the end. I'm just not seeing it fast enough. Where was it? Not that one. Where is Irving? Because Irving, it's almost like his subconscious was bleeding through, or his innie was bleeding to his outie, but his outie was bleeding onto his innie with like the black paint that he kept seeing dripping, and then his outie was painting. Where was it?
Well, you also remember he used to always pick at the the black paint underneath his nails.
Because his Audi was an artist.
Yes, and he didn't know that.
That's what I'm saying. At the end, when he sees the paintings, his Audi was painting the dust room or whatever that closet room was called. I was trying to find the image. Dang it. I know I took them.
Okay,
This
so
image.
the one lady, remember they talked about Carol K?
Oh, damn.
Carol
I'm
K
trying to
was the
remember.
woman that used to work with them before.
Oh,
and
yeah. That's right.
Well, her chip is still active. I just
No
found where
telling
her
where
chip.
and I wouldn't be surprised they didn't move her to a whole new department.
Right. So something happened. I don't know. We about to find out.
But see, this was interesting. This is what Irving's Audi is painting. And this was like, what was it, the dust room that they sent the
Yeah,
wellness chick to at the end?
yeah, Mark's wife. Yeah, that's where they sent her.
So his Audi is painting this. So it's bleeding through even with his chips. So
Well, he
what's
knows
going on with
about this
that?
thing or something. He knows about this. Or maybe he's painting this to speak to his innie and leaving his nails dirty and all of this to speak to the innie.
Because he was investigating this stuff. He had
Yeah.
all the addresses, and then his innie started having those like nightmares or whatever, where he's seeing literally like the paint dripping down.
Well, he was keeping him up all night. He wasn't letting him sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes in there dead tired and he'll fall asleep and have some sort of vision about, what his Audi was doing, which is very dope. So, all right, think about this, right? We would automatically think, it seems like they're trying to get us to automatically think that the Audi is painting shit that the innie sees. But what if the Audi had that information on his own and knew about that stuff? Because he had a whole map of where other severed people lived at.
And it wasn't just any map. I believe the map had on, let me see if I have the screenshot. It was it was like a Carey map or Carey map, like the name of the dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get the screenshot of the actual map. Oh, I'm gonna have to go back and get that. Yeah, because when he unfolded the map, it had like on the front, I thought it was like a company map, like a Loomis map. Or Lumen.
Okay. So I'm at the part now where, okay, so he's pulling up Mark S's file. He's got Heli R up and he's got Mark S up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just getting some screenshots of that control room. I'm trying to find the spot where it says Cobell's name.
Perhaps they can't control the dream realm, or can. Or maybe
and Bitey even says it's okay. So Bitey, it was called the testing room. I heard dusting room. I swear I need to clean my ears out. So yeah, maybe they can't. All right, because the dreams are a little bit. I guess that would be different because it's falling under it's not your work life, but it's somewhere. Maybe they haven't perfected it to where they can really sever even your dream state.
Well, if you remember in the intro sequence, like the end scene is him in bed with like a version of himself.
Mm-hmm.
And
And they even talked about the dreams. What was it? The Bert guy, Bert G, was saying how if you go back to like the original text of the company and all those like phrases they use and stuff, he was saying how like he thinks he can talk to them in other ways through dreams. Not that I think that part is so much true, but them making that reference to the dreams.
Well, it's one thing to be able to sever their consciousness in a sense by being able to separate their innies and their outies. That's a whole different level to do that to somebody's dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Because how do you like subconsciously make it to where even that part of someone's brain capacity is cut off?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not something physical. Dreams are not something physical in a sense. So
No,
maybe
even this,
that's
like,
why things can blend through in the forms of dreams when he's falling asleep at work.
all right, this is what I don't understand, Dana. Why did they put so much butter on this platter for these few waffles?
Some
That was an
people like a lot of butter with
excessive.
their waffles.
I know that was excessive. These weren't like little bitty things. This was like 2 sticks of butter.
Yeah, they
I
put like
put-
mad butter there.
I eat
Yeah.
waffles. I like putting a little bit
No,
of butter
trust
in
me,
each
Dana.
of my
I put
squares.
plenty. Trust me.
In
I'm
each of my
this
squares.
Dana. This is the South, and we love butter. Okay, I'm not digging on butter. I'm just saying it was weird because it was like, why was the butter? I don't know. I was looking at all the little details, like why is the butter so excessive?
Yo, I can't have no butter on
What's
my
up,
shit.
Nick?
I can't have no butter on my shit and it's not melting. If the butter's not melting, that's the waffles are too cold.
Yeah.
Try
Yes.
again.
Yep.
And this was weird, dude, because like, okay, he's had. I can't remember. Did he have this before? The waffle perk.
Vic said we fry butter in butter.
I was
That's
just
right.
messaging
Yeah.
her in the chat that we fry butter here in New York too.
Dude, the South is all
What's
you
up,
use
Vic?
is butter. That's what makes everything taste better. I just couldn't believe the amount of like extra butter they put on the plate because nobody. It was almost like if he would have ate it, somebody would have ate it. It'd be one thing. That was a wasted 2 sticks of butter.
Word.
Like for a corporation that's strict on things, what's up with the butter being? What was this goat butter?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I know.
That's a
Look, I would
very
have hurt my
good
heart. That
point.
was wasted butter, Dana.
That's a very good point. How they were like, weren't they strict on the little snacks you can eat?
Yep, you get 2
Don't
coins
get
a
2
day.
tokens a day. Just
And
get 2
yeah.
tokens a day.
Man, I'd be saving my tokens so that I could
Right, ordering
do
them
what the
shit.
fuck I want to do.
What's up with that? Like, leave the message under the plate, like Survivor or some shit. Go now to the
Yeah, that's
founder's bed.
crazy. Now go now.
But
to
you
the
can't
fountain.
touch the bed, right? When they go to the when they come here for perpetuity reasons, can't touch the bed. But during the perk, you can get up in the bed. And who else knows
Yeah.
what else would have happened? He left.
Yeah, he left. They was probably going. Oh, they was probably going to get busy with dude or something. I don't know what the fuck was going on. It's definitely seen. Now that's all Masonic right there.
Yep.
Everything in that picture is Masonic.
Because these are all things that they have constantly showed through the show. If you pay
You got
attention,
the checkerboard.
They got the jester, the wife. This dude was like, what he almost reminded me of Kelly's dad a little bit. Like, I don't know.
That was one of the I think that's the founder, right?
Is it? Because that's why I was like, but they look also the same, so I couldn't remember who was who.
I gotta watch this whole shit over again.
Yeah, that's what I was
I'm
trying
gonna watch
to do
it. I'm gonna
today.
put my notes away. I have a bunch of notes on this show actually, and stuff that is real dope. I don't want to really talk.
And
about
who are
it,
these
so.
people? Are they like severed too? And they're like, this is their
Yeah,
job?
like who are the? Yeah, what the fuck is that about?
I got so confused. I'm asking. I don't even know if I'm asking the right question.
No, that is the right. That's a very good question because they're down there, right?
I was like,
so, but then we have Mr. Milchek, who's not severed, who also walks around down there too, though. So
that's what I mean. So I
people
couldn't
come
tell.
down.
Like, who are these people? Is this like a normal? They have to do this every month.
I'm gonna watch this show without my notes and take new notes and see if I notice the same shit.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And there was also, where was it? This. Okay, so he picks up the mask and he has a whip on the bed. He doesn't use this because he leaves, but the whip, again, this mask with that whip was in that painting that we saw earlier.
Yes, it was.
Where he is literally whipping down
at the goat or the
not
lamb,
just the
whatever
goat.
the fuck
It's not just the goat. It was all of these people.
Yes.
So there's whatever that image is ties to this whole ritual thing going on here. And those phrases are the same ones that are in the book or in those the notes that Anna sent us, that book of stuff. So these were all their like core principles. So yeah.
They were
there's a lot of psychology in here, Dana, but I'm scared to go down that rabbit hole a little bit. How do you feel about it, Real?
It is crazy. It is the psychology.
Oh, what you say? Hold on. I was sitting here. I think I'm about to find it. There's got to be. Hold on. I've seen it before. I'm sure her name is on one of the severed people's list. Mm.
I was just talking about the psychology behind this whole
Oh
scene.
wow, yeah. She said, "All right." So, what was your question again? I'm sorry.
No worries, man. I was just worried. Like we were just talking about the psychology behind this because this whole scene of the bed and the whip and the people that are dancing relates back to a portrait they showed earlier on,
Yeah,
where
that
he's doing.
painting.
And on here on the whip that he doesn't use because he leaves. But again, the psychology behind this whole moment here is just weird. I don't know if I want to go down that, but it has all the core principles of the company on this whip, and it's just weird. Like I was just
Yeah,
asking.
they're whipping that into the people. They're whipping that into the severed people. And they're whipping that into them. They're beating it into them.
But it's showed and depicted in the picture as the wife, the jester, the goat, and the other guy that is. I don't know if he's the founder though, because the founder is the one wearing. I thought the founder was this guy.
Yeah, that's the founder.
So the other guy, this is not the founder.
Yeah, that's not the founder.
That's what I'm saying. His face reminded me of Kelly's dad, the older gentleman that we see at the end.
Okay.
So it's such
I
a
have some notes
weird,
on
like
the picture. I
I
have
don't
some
know,
notes on the painting.
like what are your thoughts behind like the psychology of it? Because I'm scared to go down this rabbit hole just in the way that they depicted the sort of ritual with this sort of like sexualized version over top of it, and then it's just this weird corporate thing. It's almost like, oh my god, I'm scared to go down that rabbit hole.
And then also when you think about how Miss Cobell tells Mark to get away from them when he says that he's gonna quit Lumen. Remember, he tells her he's quitting Lumen and he says he doesn't need it anymore, and she says, yes, get away from them. You know? Because they kind of make her look like she's got some kind of ulterior motive against the corporation. And I think it's like she's scorned because she wasn't brought into the fold or the family because I think she's an illegitimate child.
And that would make sense just because of how like her altar, the way she set that up. Yeah.
And like, I think she like had her mother's hospital bracelet on the altar as well.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff on there. I got a few shots of it. I can't remember everything. She had like something. I don't know if it was her mother's. Because I looked to see if it was hers or her mother's. Because it even had like like a breathing apparatus of some sort or something on there.
Why didn't he tie his tie around the thing to hold it? Like,
Well, I don't know. Like it was. There was a lot of things. He used his belt around the door, right? Are you talking about when he was in the?
He used his belt around the door. Why didn't he use his tie around the switches?
And try to give him a little more.
Yeah, try to help him a little bit, or use his foot or something. All right, so that must have been an episode.
Yes, Vic. Go into. She says, if I walk into a dark room that has a checkered floor, I'm leaving. They're fixing to sacrifice me. Absolutely.
Yeah, he left too. He got his ass up out of there.
Yeah, I was like, I thank you for the waffles. I'm out. Some creepy cult shit. I'm not. No, I don't want. That's why I was like, they sacrificing the goats, poor babies, because it was just creepy like cult vibes. I'm thinking, what are you doing with all this stuff? And optics is totally weird.
Back to the Masonic references, that is a very Masonic type of feel to it. Those type of rituals and symbolisms and cult-like behaviors, and they recruit from college.
Oh, I know why they did that now.
Because they did make notice that there is a particular college that a lot of these individuals go to, because I think Mark figured that out at the end as well. Somewhere he figured out something like that, or he looked it up somewhere midway through the season, maybe.
Yeah, where you have like they say in the handbook, you're picked for your intellect. So you can't just sign up to be severed and just get severed. Like you have to pass some sort of test, I'm sure. Okay.
So I don't know. That's just. I don't know if I could just erase 8 hours of my life a day and be like, oh, okay.
No, I'm definitely no. Because I'm there's so many reasons why. First of all, I don't want your technology in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first part. Second part is I don't want to be in any kind of situation where I don't know what the hell's going on. Hey, Chocolate Beauty, how you doing, cousin?
Welcome. Glad to see you hanging with us.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, so I wouldn't want. I'm one of those type of guys where if I fall asleep and you prank me, I'm fucking you up when I wake up.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, yeah, you don't do that. That's just
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then we got beef afterwards too. Like,
mm-hmm.
probably the only person that could get away with that is one of my children. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like my daughter drawing some shit on my face while I'm asleep or something. You know what I mean? Like she could get away with that. But if it's like if I fall asleep around so-called friends and they do something dumb shit to me while I'm sleeping, I don't care if it's putting shaving cream in my hand and tickling my nose, and I slap my face with the shaving cream. I'm fucking you up. That's just you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I'm fucking you up. So I'm not going to be one that's going to let you do something with my entire being and conscious being for 8 hours and me not even know what the fuck you're doing. Like
No, that's just wild. Like, because like I can see how certain, especially when they kind of revealed Mark's situation, the temptation for someone who's maybe at a sort of weaker point and saying, okay, and they present you with something that I would still not take it, but I could see maybe where the sort of mental health issue would come in and people would want to go to that to sort of escape.
yeah,
You'd
I can
still be able
see
to have money coming in, but not have to lose their job because they can't handle what's going on in their lives. But I would never still want to go through that because what you're
yeah.
giving up to that corporation is so much more than just whether you can find a job or not.
Now
Like I just
don't
go.
get me wrong, it's kind of dope to like you go to work and you walk through the work door and then next thing you know you're walking out and you didn't even realize that you worked. That aspect is pretty appealing, you know. That's the only thing. Or like how they're doing with the pregnant lady.
Mm-hmm.
Like she doesn't even she gets to have all the benefits of raising the child without having to go through the childbirth and all
Mm-hmm.
of that.
But it's
Okay,
still really strange though. Like
yeah.
it's
But
still hard.
you
I
still
still
got the
couldn't
chip
do
in your
that.
head. You still
But
got the chip in your head.
yeah. But I
And
could see
then
that appeal just with the way people love technology now. And like even we went through Evil. And I'm finding it very interesting, this kind of common theme lately with things that we've been watching, and also along with Three Body Problems of using this sort of chip technology, whether it be in a VR headset or just putting the implant into your head, which they actually made a note of a similar style implant in Evil.
Yes.
well, you know, not to get on no tinfoil hat type of shit, but I mean, the world is definitely going towards that. We actually have like Elon Musk working on some type of Neuralink chip for the
Mm-hmm.
brain. You
And they're
have,
like readying us for this
yeah,
technology.
you can get your animal chip, you know what I'm saying, for tracking purposes and stuff like that. We're walking around with chips
Mm-hmm.
in our credit cards. You got the chip in your card. That's a RFID, radio frequency identification device. We have our phones. They have
Oh,
chips in them.
everything.
Like
Televisions. Everything
Mm-hmm.
has
television,
chips in it.
like everything. Like if you go somewhere with your phone, they know who you're with because those people have their phones. So you can see like a pretty much map of if you had a map of all where all phones are, you know who's talking to who. Like if you wanted to
Yeah,
go
that's what
meet
Batman
somebody,
did in Dark Knight. He did like an ecosystem with the cell phones.
right? He did like a sonar
Mm-hmm.
back feed to himself
Which was
to help
kind of
him
cool.
build.
That was kind of creepy and dope all at the same time.
Well, they were showing you that that type of technology exists, and all they needed was just a microphone. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
A tiny microphone, which are in your TVs, which are in your Xboxes and your PlayStation, tiny microphones and tiny visual meters that can track your body movements and hear what's going on in your house. Like if you got an iPhone, you could say, hey Siri, and her fucking voice will start talking. Like my phone just popped up. I don't need you, Siri. I'm just.
I'll do any of those. Look,
But that just
I
lets you know
can't.
she's listening. She's listening. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
I
I
hate
can't.
having the Amazon bitch in my house because
You
can't
I
got
have her
swear
Alexa.
here.
You talking
I've
about
been
Alexa?
fucking. I don't like her because there's been times where she just starts bugging out of nowhere, and like there would be times like stuff would just start popping on, like the PlayStation 5 would just automatically start to go on, and stuff would just, and I'd be like, no, I don't like her, but
Yeah,
I
I
use
don't
it.
like that. Yo, I called my friend one time. I was in Phoenix, and I called my friend, and I was telling him, he was like, "Yo, you coming to the studio?" I was like, "Nah, we got a show in Phoenix." So, boom, I call him back, and I just get like the phone just hangs up on me. Like it didn't even answer. It just hung up. And then I get a text with a little man running. And I call my friend back. I say, "Yo, bro, what's the text with the man running mean?" He was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." I said, "You text me a little man running." And he looked at the text message, and his phone texted me that he was jogging. He was like, "Yo, I went out for a jog and shit when you was calling me." I was like, "Get the fuck out of here. Your phone just decided to text me and like tell me to chill out with calling you because you're jogging? Like, what the fuck?"
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we were
creepy as
bugged out
shit.
off that. That shit really happened. Like his phone texted me a little man running, and he didn't text that shit to me. But the phone, I guess, made a decision like, don't disturb him while he's jogging or something.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck was that? It just hung up on me and sent me a text.
Mm.
And he didn't do that. I was like, "Yo, you didn't program it to do that shit?" Like he was like, "Nah." And so it's crazy. That's crazy that happened. And I mean, you got the Apple Watch and shit like that on. That shit's
Yep.
checking your pulse, all types of shit. It's checking your pulse. It's checking your oxygen rate. Like,
And these are even like
hold
a
on,
step
Vic says,
further. Like the stuff that they're showing in Severance, Evil, and even in Three Body Problems is this kind of technology of it's messing with the parts of your brain. We're going beyond just a little bit of like um dang it, I done forgot the word I was gonna say. Sort of like invasion. It's so much more than that
"Oh yeah,
now.
oh
Like,
yeah."
yeah, AI and all that stuff is scary. Trust me, AI is
What if?
scary.
What
This
I
if?
is
hate it.
scarier because this is not necessarily AI. They are going to control you. They're going to control your perception.
Yep.
Reality will no longer be what we think it
What
is.
if? What if? What if we? When you think about an alien invasion, right? You think about little green men,
Oh no.
and you think about outer space and spaceships coming in. What if AI actually stands for alien invasion? And the
It could.
invasion isn't anything that you would actually think it is. Like the reason why we think about spaceships and little green men or little gray men or all of this kind of shit when we think about aliens and alien invasions, Hollywood has planted those notions in our mind, right? So
Yep.
that's why we think, like, that's why those things come to mind when you think of an alien invasion. What if an alien invasion doesn't look like any of that and it looks like the form of uh of artificial intelligence? What if
Mm-hmm.
that's what an alien invasion actually looks like? Because pretty soon you'll they're making these videos. AI videos are getting better and better by the day. I remember when AI couldn't even draw hands and we
Mm-hmm.
were laughing at it, and now it's drawing the best hand.
Mm-hmm.
um you know what if at one point you'll see something happen with someone and it's not really them. What if I think we're coming on the days where somebody will get convicted of a crime for something that they didn't do because there's a video of it and that video is AI generated.
Yep.
I think that I think that we're going
That's a
down.
horrifying notion.
Yeah. I think that, we're getting to that point. We're getting closer to that. There's no doubt about it. Like, somebody will get arrested because there's a video of them doing something, and it will be an AI generated video, and AI will have gotten to the point to where it's indistinguishable from reality.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I'm against AI,
I am too.
especially with me being an artist, a creator, a musician. I don't like AI. I mean, I think that it should be curved to a point, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But as time, I can't think of anything that we started doing that we noticed the dangers of it and we stopped doing it. I don't think there's anything that I can remember in human history that we said, you know what, these things aren't good for us. This is going down a bad road. I don't think that we've ever, I think that everything that comes along, it just continues to go until it gets to a bad point. Like, you got to understand, in the next 10 years, all the 10-year-olds are going to be 20 years old. And the world that they'll live in is going to be totally different than what we're seeing right now. It's going to be AI generated, this and that. Some children are going to have AI friends. It's going to get to a point to where children are going to speak to AI friends, and then they're going to put that shit in a robot, make it walk and talk. They'll probably,
See, I see it worse than that though, because
we'll
with
get to
this
a point
technology, it's just the VR headsets. It's instead of they're not even going to be walking around with a robot; they're going to be plugged in.
I think that is going to be a mixture of both. I think you're going to have people out there. I think they're going to have like sex worker robots and all kind of shit like that. They already have like dolls and stuff for that kind of stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure somebody's working on it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's working on it right now if they don't already have it. I just, I don't know. I don't think this is going to end well for humanity. I think that
It's
humanity
creepy.
constantly just goes down this raw path.
No, it's definitely creepy, and I'm gonna catch up with you guys in the chat and see what you guys are saying about some of this stuff as well. And yes, definitely the aliens are possibly here, as Vicky says, and they have been monitoring us for years. Let's see
What
what
if
else
they're
we have to
already in
say.
control?
I mean, it's possible. Anything. If anybody knows anything about me, I accept all possibilities because until we know the truth, there's a lot of
What if
possibilities. It
they've
could be
been in
right.
control for thousands of years and
Well,
all
we're
along?
aliens. I mean, you want to take it a step further? We're aliens.
How so?
If we go to another planet, we would be aliens to that planet.
Right.
So the aliens come here. We're no different. We're just as much as an alien as an alien is an alien. Not like we're an alien of this planet, but I mean, just like
If you're on another planet,
so,
you're an
like
alien.
we're thinking about how aliens would be coming here. Well, I like to think about okay, if we were going to another planet and we were aliens, how would that look?
I think that there are things that we don't know about that are already right here. I think that I think that a lot of the stuff that they tell us about outer space and all of that, I think a lot of that shit is false. I think they control where we think we are. Like a Truman Show kind of thing. Like, why would you not control
That's
that?
horrifying to think of.
Oh, yeah, it is. I think that, I mean, think about it, right?
Maybe.
Look
I mean,
how
I
well
definitely
placed.
would consider it.
Look,
I would see it more as we're what we think of as aliens and other supernatural things. First of all, they're probably here in the sense that we don't see them. They're on another dimension, so we can't perceive them for starters. So it's weird if there are aliens, and that word for me is so weird because, like I said, I would consider us an alien if we were to go to another planet. So an alien could be very similar to us or widely different. For ones that would be technologically advanced more than us to have come here and been, like, we have, some people would say, signs of alien activity on this planet as far back as pyramids and even further back than that. But those things are so, it's so weird because we don't know where our planet truly started. We don't know where the universe started. So we don't know how far back any of the things that we are even seeing on our planet, how far back our history goes.
Yeah, our history is a lot of lies and stuff. Like and dimensional beings, we think about outer space, aliens. Most of those notions come directly from Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And everything we think about it and everything we think we know comes a lot from Hollywood. Science has also been usurped as well.
Yeah.
There were times where scientists were saying that cigarettes were healthy for pregnant women.
Not just that, they
Well, if
thought
you
what
could
life
pay
was created from rotted flesh, like it just
if you could,
spontaneous, like life was spontaneous in the sense that no, there had to be a catalyst. They eventually figured that out, like where the flies came from the rotting meat. Yeah, science forever is changing and growing and building
oh yes,
as
most
we learn the physics,
definitely.
which we may never get there, right? Because until we evolve to, because right now we see three dimensions. That is, we are completely kind of hindered, even though yes we have other things that can see, we're still hindered because our perception is seeing through that lens. We're still seeing another perception through a perception, so it can still be hindered in what we're seeing, especially when you talk about quantum physics, right? They talk about particles, like when you observe them they don't move, but if you're not observing them they can still see how they're moving, like they can actually track it, but visually we, if we're watching it, it will not move. So those are like when you start getting the quantum side of it even more so, it
Yeah,
gets even
I
creepier.
think
And
about
then
it
the
on yeah,
radio waves and how waves can travel through dimensions, and not as we think of it traveling through a wall, it travels through the particles of it.
and I agree with you on that. I think in a macrocosm, microcosm kind of way as well. Like when you speak about quantum, um, you're talking about like macrocosm and microcosm.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're talking about this big thing that's observing this little thing. And
Mm-hmm.
this little thing that's observing this big thing, like when an ant looks at you, he doesn't see you the way another person would see you. Like he sees you as like probably first of all, he probably doesn't even see your face if you're standing all the way up. It's probably too far for him to see it. You see what I'm saying? But then he sees your toe right there in the grass. But he sees you in this different way. But then you have creatures that are as small as ants to ants. You see what I'm saying? So there's an ant, like you got this ant, but then you got this little guy that's like an ant to him. And then you have this other little guy that's like an ant to him. And it just keeps going down and down and down. Like,
It's
and when we
even more complex than that, though, right? Because even within the creatures that we know of on our planet, the way we are, I don't want to say created in a sense, but the way our bodies are, even animals, other animals, is, you know, dogs and cats see color differently supposedly. So there's other animals that can sort of see in different, even bugs, right? They have sort of a
right.
different visual aspect to them. And I would
Or
even say that because we don't understand fully brain activity and how perception works. Like we know how our eyes work to a degree and how we are able to perceive the world around us, but we also know in and of ourselves, people have color blindness, people are deaf, but yet their other senses pick up things that maybe because that one's gone, they kind of pick it up. And even more so with people who are colorblind, I saw something we were going through evil, how they can use them in the military
look
in
at what
order they
Star
see
just said,
shapes.
our perception through sensory.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about perception when you think about it. Like even the way we perceive ourselves. And okay, so we've been put in this classification or categorized as mammals, right? But when you observe mammals, it seems like we are different from every other mammal. Like we only have fur on one part of our body. Like,
Well, we do now. I would say that it's possible because we had more hair on our body.
well, hair and fur are different things. Fur, like we have hair over every inch of our body. Hair,
Because
we
I
have
would
hair.
say, like, there are some ladies out there as they get older, they get more of the peach fuzz kind of fur.
Well, yeah, that's like that's just hair, right? But fur is something like where you see on your eyebrows. Like
Hmm.
this is why the hair on your eyebrows is doesn't continuously grow and cover your eyes up because it's more of like a fur, like how a cat's fur or a dog fur behaves. That's how our eyebrows behave. When we look at salt, if you put salt in your eye, the shit's gonna burn you. However, when you go into the ocean, you can open your eyes up and see, and the salt doesn't burn you because it's mixed with the water. So we're water
Hmm.
creatures. Like even in the womb, we're born underwater. Like we're conceived and we're underwater actually, surrounded by the amniotic fluid. We have the tailbones, but we don't have tails. We have tonsils that can be removed. You have your appendix that
Well,
can
because
be
all
removed.
these things were from previous generations, and as
Right.
has the environment changed, and this is where I would say evolution takes a place in that. No, I would say that it is possible that we had more fur on our body at one point in time, possibly. I don't know
Yeah,
that for a
it look
fact.
some people you see it all cut. I've seen people that have their eyebrows damn near go halfway up their forehead.
So we've sort of taken ourselves out of that animal type kingdom, or domesticated ourselves to a degree, and especially now because you think of how climate, like where I live, it's hot down here, and if I were to live outside, I would probably have less hair or anything like that, just because of the climate being so hot. I would probably want to be a darker complected individual just so that I wouldn't get burned. Like that would be naturally the sort of person you would think that would be more in a sun climate. But because of the fact
Your
that we
body
have
will
the
begin to
amenities,
adapt.
because we have the amenities that we have now, someone like me who is very fair skinned, red hair, who would probably should never live in the South just because of the climate, I'm able to live here and even possibly, we could, I don't want to say thrive, but we
Well,
would.
that's an actual myth that like white people can't be in the sun like that.
I've burned so terribly. When I say I've
Yeah,
burned horribly in my life, like physically, I would, if it wasn't for the fact that we have the amenities that we have here, I would not want to live in the South.
right. Well, see, the thing about it is
And
See,
that
but
changes
it's all about
everything
the
because now
then
we're
you have
not.
me. I don't burn.
right. That's what I was about to say. You have some people that don't burn at all. That's a case of melanin, which is actually on like a big spectrum. That's
Also, compared
that's
to
why you
I'm Italian, compared to you're more Northern European.
Hmm.
like I'm light skinned. I'm very light skinned myself, and I'm probably lighter than both of you guys actually. And both of my parents are dark skinned. You see what I'm saying? And so
Hmm.
like I have seen different like we all have like these different shades, and melanin is like actually protection against sun.
Well,
So
it's
yeah,
same thing with me and my
darker
cousin.
complected people.
She's really dark, and I'm really light
Well,
when
see,
it
if you
comes
take
to.
darker complected people, they have longer longevity in the sun.
That's what I'm
However,
saying. Like
if
the
you take a
more of
lighter
that you
person,
have in your skin, the more likely you. If we
well,
were to
what will
take out
begin
all of the like things
if
that
you
we
take
have
you and a man that
today,
are the same complexion and you put you in a sunny area and y'all stay out in this sunny area, you have children, grandchildren, great grandchildren, great great grandchildren, and so on and so forth. Your children would begin to adapt, and your great 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 grandchildren will probably have way darker skin than yours
exactly, because the
naturally.
evolution. But I'm saying
Right.
most likely, just from the features that I have, I would say that my ancestors would have been more of a northern climate because until we would have had that evolution through probably the mix of races, it would have to be a long evolution because that wouldn't happen overnight.
No, it
That
wouldn't.
evolution would happen faster, I would say, through inter
It
relations
wouldn't
with
happen
folks.
that long, actually. It would happen in the course of probably 2 generations. It probably happened in the course of 2 generations. Like, think about it. There are people that live, white people that live in the sun, that live out in sunny areas, and they get
Okay,
like
because
some
my
of them
dad, my
actually
dad
get
has red
like a
hair.
permanent tan.
I have red hair. My brother has red. We're all that red hair, white, blue, green eyes.
Hmm.
My brother's kids, they burned because they kept on sort of that trait. Now,
Mhm.
my child doesn't, but that's because my husband has his traits. His family, a lot of the people in his family, especially on his mother's side, they're Filipino. So a lot of that comes through, and even in my daughter's complexion.
Mhm.
So
Like
because of that, my next generation now, we've sort of broken that cycle. So now she does have a lot of the same sort of traits and certain features and stuff. But because she was able, we can her kids are more likely if they were have to survive sunburn and cancer and stuff like that. Her generation would be more likely through that mix. Whereas my brother's his kid is not quite that generation is going to be back even further because they didn't have that mix in order for those traits to sort of blend, and you get that. To me, that's where a lot of the better evolutionary traits come from, is that mixing of the gene pool, so you
Mhm.
have more to pull from, and you
Right.
end up
Well,
with better traits sometimes out of that, because it's like the weird random dice roll, so to speak. And I'm saying that knowing that it's more complicated than that, but
like I have dark skinned people. I'm like one of the only light skinned people in my family, like in the young generations. Like my grandmother is very light skinned on my mom's side, and my grandfather on my dad's side is really light skinned. However, I'm like one of the only light skinned in my like generation. Like all everybody older than me and cousins, dark skinned people. When they moved from down south to up north, a lot of them actually got lighter, and it was like a obvious like tone change, you
mhm,
know. And what I'm saying is that let's say that you just take you and or a woman with your phenotype and a man with your phenotype, um, they would begin to develop certain things. Like the human body will adapt to survive, right? And so like they would begin to take on certain traits that would deem their survival in that area so that they could have children. Then those children would have those traits. I think that DNA is just memory cells. That's all I think it is. Like your DNA is your memory cells. And you get half of your mom's DNA, you get half of your dad's DNA. And inside your mother's womb, you kind of use that DNA to pick what your nose is going to look like, your eyes, all of that's where it gets all of those characteristics from. And then it uses those building blocks to build itself. Because you could take two people, have a baby with them, then they have another baby, and these babies come out looking different. You see what I'm saying? That's why, like, people that have the same parent, they might resemble, but you don't have like why doesn't everybody look like twins when they have the same parents?
that's
Because
because of the shuffle. That's what I was
right,
talking
that's
about. That's what I said.
exactly
You have a better chance of that evolutionary effect happening when you're mixing, as opposed to if I was to get with someone who was red hair and that really pale. I'm talking like, when I mean white, I'm talking like when we go outside, the sun reflects off of us in a manner to which people get blinded.
to where you get burned. Yeah.
It's like I can't be outside for more than 10 minutes and I will get burned.
And see,
And
my son
my
has
dad was like
albinism.
that, and now my brother's kids, they carried on that because of who he also married, through that gene pool, whereas my daughter didn't, because who my husband and his gene pool made it to where she was able to have that darker complexion, and therefore now she doesn't burn, she just tans so beautifully. Like I've never seen such beautiful tan.
Yes, like
And that happened faster
yeah,
through that mixture, as opposed
I
to it
see
would take
what
longer.
chocolate beauty and the global majority has melanin, and Vic replies something very true. Every living thing has melanin. Every living and non-living thing has melanin. Darker the darker skin actually comes from the carbon component. Darker skin actually comes from the carbon component, and the mixture of the carbon component, and that happens through um, sunlight exposure. Even if a person is born with melanin, sunlight still makes them darker. There are a lot of dark complected people that can't be out in the sun too long as well. They get skin cancers just as often as people that are lighter complected. You know what I'm saying? You also like my son has albinism, and my grandmother had albinism. She didn't even know she had albinism until after my son was born, because we took her to the eye doctor, and the eye doctor diagnosed. A lot of people think albinism is a skin condition. A lot of people think albinism is an eye condition, but it's actually a brain condition. That it albinism is when, okay, so in most people, you have in your left eye, you have two stems that come out of your left eye. One connects to your left brain, one connects to your right brain. And the same in your right eye. One connects to your right brain, one connects to your left brain. But people with albinism, both stems in the right eye connect to the right brain, and both stems in the left eye connect to the left brain.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the symptoms or side effects of that is not side effects, however, some of the traits of that are low pigment. And you don't see a lot of pigment. They might have blue eyes. Some of them have pink eyes. Some of them have blonde hair, very fair skin, and very light skin, actually. My son has albinism. However, he has my grandmother's type of albinism, which is a very rare type of albinism where they can actually go out in the sun. Like my son goes and he cuts the grass. He can go out there, cut the grass. He can, do all kind of stuff. Like he can be out in the sun longer than I can. You see what I'm saying? And he has albinism, which albinism people can get skin cancer from being out in the sun too long. But my son, he's like my grandmother. She was born in Florida. My grandmother worked in the celery fields. Back then, they didn't tell the kids like what they had. They didn't even talk to the kids about what they had. Like you could have been born with cerebral palsy. You got to get your ass out there and play with the rest of the kids just like everybody else. They're not going to sit there and keep telling you about that you have cerebral palsy. They wouldn't even do that back then. Like they would send the kids out with the rest of the kids. And my grandma, she didn't get burned. She never had sunburn. She had albinism all her life and didn't know till she was 89. After my son was born, we took her because I noticed that my grandmother had nystagmus. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, even in my time, like, we had like, the mentally challenged kids, they was outside playing with us. Like they didn't do it like how they separate the children today and keep them separate. They didn't do that shit back when I was growing up. Or when my grandma was growing up, they didn't even tell the kid what they had. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, you alive, you know what I'm saying? You living, and that's what it is. So my grandma never even knew that she had albinism. And I'm sure living like that, a lot of people were very ignorant about these things. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I totally agree with you. Like the mixing of the gene pool throughout human history has definitely created better human beings, right? However, I think that the technology is slowing us down. Like Chocolate Beauty said, we raising wimps now.
Yes, and I agree with that. That's why I was saying, like, with us living in the sort of cozy environment we've created for ourselves, it even almost hinders because, like you're saying, even with like someone like me, over a generation or whatever, would be able to change that. But I'm not out there in the sun all day. I'm not out there in the heat all day. We have, AC and stuff like that. That kind of hindered us from sort of that evolutionary growth in that regard of the physical sense.
And see that, yeah, and I had this one teacher in middle school, and she would always go out in the sun, and she was a white woman. She was very light complected, and it was crazy that she would get this tan, and then it would just disappear. And most people that I would see get tans that would disappear, they would kind of like peel off and shit, and their skin would peel and shit like that. I grew up in Florida where you always
that was me, man.
Yeah,
I was peeling, blistered.
Yeah, you always
I
see
was a
like
lobster.
walking around with peeling skin and shit, like and 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 you see it a lot in Florida.
Like so I ended up with freckles after sunburn.
Yeah, yep. You see that a lot in Florida, but she didn't her skin didn't do that. Her shit would just like fade away, and she would be real pale again. And she said, "Oh, gotta go get some sun again. We're going to Daytona Beach." I lived in Sanford, Florida. Grew up in Sanford, Florida. So Daytona Beach was like a stone's throw. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Everybody go to the beach and shit like that. So yeah. I mean, it's definite. I think it's about exposure and giving the body time. But see, a lot of stuff too is the foods that we eat, the medicines that we take are full of petroleum. Like a lot of these aspects play into how our body protects itself nowadays too. You know. And oh, Vic says to be fair, it's hotter nowadays. True indeed. Yes, the heat index
Hmm.
is higher
That's,
than it
I
used.
would say
See, we
true,
didn't have a hot
but
summer this
not.
year.
I'd say true and false, because true as into where you marking it, humans since we've been on the earth or prior to humans.
Right. Well, I think that I a lot of people attribute this to so-called climate change. I think that we experience these 4 seasons, right?
Hmm.
But
There's
then I think
cycles.
there's these
Mhm.
other seasons that overlap on top of the
Yes.
4 seasons.
Yes,
Yes.
we have the ice ages that go in sort of like a cycle with the earth in order to
Absolutely.
Our
balance
planet
that.
Absolutely.
cools, our planet heats up. Our planet
Right.
cools,
It
our
cools
planet
and it
heats
heats
up.
up. But then we have these 4 seasons that we kind of like observe and we think that that's it. But then there's this bigger 4 seasons that kind of encompass those 4 seasons and even a bigger procession as well. And what proves it is that the ice age, like you said, we didn't have cars and electronics and stuff like that that they're claiming is making the earth hotter to melt the ice caps and to get rid of the ice age. It got
But
rid of itself.
they have melted before.
Right. They
Yes.
did it before we had cars and technology and pollution and stuff. So I mean,
Because
I
the
just
earth has always been, I think people forget how, and I don't say, I should say people, I think some people maybe forget how or don't. Because when I learned about this, I was like, oh my God, the amount of chaos that, and I say possibly created earth because we don't know for sure. But the theories that were out there on how earth was created, all that chaos, all that sort of just craziness to have to then do for life to have developed here the way it did was just,
mm,
it's so crazy to like contemplate on sometimes, because most of, I would say, what when I think of the theories that I've read about, most of Earth's history has not been peaceful. We live in a very small pocket of Earth's time
mm,
that would allow such a life form to exist. And
yeah.
then we're so, and it's a weird uniqueness, because yes, it's possible there's other unique things like us out there in the universe that we cannot even get to yet. We have no idea what they are, but just in our universe alone, it's so weird and it's so crazy through all that chaos that we uniquely came out the way we did, Earth the way it did. And then my husband was telling me about this other planet, which people have known about for a while. And it was a dwarf planet, but it's about to be a new planet. It's called Ceres.
Mm,
And it's in the, it was between Jupiter and Mars in the belt, like the asteroid belt.
hmm
And it's been slowly growing over time. And it's now almost to where it's a planet size. Can you
Ooh, look
contemplate
at what
how
Chocolate
that
Beauty
would go
just said.
crazy?
Look at what Chocolate Beauty just said.
But yeah, y'all go check out that planet series because it's growing as we speak. It is turning into a planet. Like, we are able to study how this planet is forming in our within our own solar system, which we can't get to the same way we would like to. But just the fact that is in a
Yo,
sense of space,
I
that's in our
love what
backyard.
Chocolate Beauty just said because I believe something very similar, Chocolate Beauty. I have a big video that I've been working on for about 6 years that spans on the theory that you just said right there. And the evidence is real compelling. I actually have a 3D model that's being worked on by me and a couple of buddies of mine working on this 3D model. And I'm going to bring this to the table. I'm not going to put it on my Real Enigmas and Theories channel. I'm going to start another channel and put it on there. But I think it's very compelling. And I do think that they're lying to us about what outer space is for sure. Because there's too much. Yes, indeed, Ty Briggs. There's too much evidence.
Welcome, Ty. Welcome. Happy Friday to you. We are hanging
Right.
out talking Severance, and we've kind of gotten into a more deeper conversation about all sorts of things.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
welcome, Ty.
I love this. This is really dope. And you know what? The funny thing, and we can. I'm gonna stop saying what I was saying because yeah, it doesn't even. Yeah, we don't need to talk about that, right? But the funny thing about the show Severance is that it actually makes you think, and it puts your mind in that sort of realm where you start thinking about stuff like this. I mean, you start actually asking questions about the human psyche and like how would it feel to just wake up in this place one day and be told like, hey, you're this person that's on the outside but you're on the inside and you work here and like this, and you won't remember being outside but you'll remember everything here. And like it really makes you delve into some deep questions and stuff that lead you to talking about some of the shit that we were just talking about that people could catch on the replay. Todd Bridge could catch that on the replay. We was in here cooking. We was in here cooking a
Mhm.
5-course meal, bro. I'm yo.
Look, man, we went to all kinds of things. We're in space now, and it can't get into any more. Well, the ocean and space. Ocean is our last frontier. We do need to discover the ocean more, because I think space is real. So I would think for us to get to space, we need to conquer our planet first. So the ocean, with the depths that it has and the pressure and all of that kind of science that goes along with that, would definitely, if space is real, would project us to that.
I mean, like when you look at when they test to go to this so-called outer space, they test in the water. They test under the water.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Because
saying?
that is definitely the way to push us to space. Those depths, that pressure for us, because if we can't get through our own ocean, how are we ever really going to truly think we're going to send humans
I
out to
I think
space?
there's a lot of I think there's a lot of symbolism and esoteric stuff within the lie of outer space,
Mm.
especially when they call them astronauts. When you're talking about naughts, you're talking about nautical, and
Hmm.
you're talking about like ocean travel. When you're talking about nautical things,
Well, think
and
about their suit, right?
when you talk about
It's the helmet, just like what you think of like a deep water swimmer, like the whole
not
suit,
only that,
right?
not only that, the astronaut itself has a lifeline that is almost like an umbilical cord, and and it's out there, like it resembles being underwater like a baby when they're inside the womb with this umbilical cord, which is literally the lifeline of that child. Like it's where it's get its oxygen from. The oxygen flows from the mother's lungs through the umbilical cord to the child, you know. And so like it's pretty much like I think it's symbolism. I think that they're telling us a lie about what it actually is. There's a lot of I didn't want to go here, but I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. Like I said, I'm gonna start a whole nother channel, and I've been working on this video for like 6 years, y'all. So y'all know it's gonna be good. It's gonna be like maybe 2.5 hours long though, but it's very compelling.
I was trying to find what Bidey was saying. Miss Corbell has a white rabbit for a car. Are you saying her car is a white rabbit, or like there was a white rabbit in the car? Because I was about to go looking for a white rabbit in this car. Bidey knows me. Can't say things like that because I'm like deep diving, trying to find these images.
I was tripping off of how Helly had the same outfit as Miss Corbell. She had the same outfit. Like when there was a point where I was like, "Yo, that's what Shorty was wearing." When he goes home and he almost hit her in the car. Remember when they
Yeah,
were
at the
leaving?
beginning. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, and her
Yeah,
outfit, she had the same clothes on as Miss Corbell. Like,
let's see if I can find that.
okay,
No, I just wait. Here she is.
Oh yeah.
Let me find Miss Corbell.
I'm at the exact spot on it. That's 3521 on episode 1 right there. I'm on the exact spot of that
Miss
picture you just put.
Corbell. Where is she at? She's up in here somewhere. I'll just go down and get a later one. Come on, chick. I know it took like a million of you. Nah, that was not a good one. Come on, let's get the outfit. Let's see the goods. There she is.
Okay, so she got that shirt on right there. But there's a part where she got the whole outfit on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking through the actual show.
Yeah, and the radiation is definitely a big factor for space. That's going to be a definitely big hurdle for us to overcome, amongst others.
Yeah, the Orion belt. Or no, they call it the not the Orion belt. It's the man, what is it called, yo?
Word Demon got you. It's a real thing. It's been catching me and Dana like crazy ever since we watched that episode of Evil. We forget things that we're trying to explain.
Oh man, what is it called? It's not the Orion belt. It's the Van Allen belt.
There you go.
It's the Van Allen belt. That's what it is. The belt at Van Allen.
I'm glad you remember because I'm horrible with names.
Yeah, I couldn't remember it.
I'm telling you, man, we watched Evil and they have a demon for everything, and there was a demon for words. And what you just experienced is what they described as the demon like feeding on your words as you try to explain things.
Yeah, it was. I don't know why. I've been so into From. If you ask me anything about From, like I'm on it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been
We were
so into
there.
From. I think I
Yeah.
spent entirely too much time fucking with that show. Like
I know we got it after. It was why we're covering Severance too,
I
so that way
love
we'll be caught
Severance.
up. So we can really, because me and Dana want to really focus on From after this stream and after we kind of wrap up this one, because I really want to get back into From. But with Evil and everything, it was just so much. It was kind of similar shows, right? There's a lot of complexity to them and a degree of you having to sort of figure things out. So it kind of makes you center focus on it. So yeah, we definitely are ready to start getting back into From, because there's so much juiciness out there.
There is.
Oh yes. I figured out some shit too that I'm working on a video for it now.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, yo, they gonna flip when they see this one. Ain't nobody see
I can't wait to go down my From Lost tangent.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Oh yeah, I mean that's just for days.
No, that's what y'all should focus on. Y'all should focus on From
because
Lost.
Dana's got the encyclopedia they put out of Lost. So
wow.
it's so beautiful of like things that you would questions that we all had. You know, it's the detail they put into this encyclopedia is phenomenal.
Yeah, I definitely I need to. I don't know. I just can't get into Lost. I just have to look at it as if I'm just doing the research, I guess.
Yep.
I mean, I watched it. I binged it pretty quickly, but you know, I had the time to do it, right? Like, because while I'm at home cleaning and stuff, I kind of was watching it.
I saw that crossword puzzle. I saw that crossword puzzle. I have that right here.
And now I'm wondering, there was an image on From, and I know I'm going off topic.
I don't know if you could see it.
Oh, hang on, let me embiggen you, Miss Lady.
This is the Lost encyclopedia that they came out with, and look at how thick that shit is. And they just have all stuff like on the characters. They have like individual stuff on like the characters. You could find stuff on like individual items and like quotes and like everything. It's just got everything you could possibly think of about Lost in it. And
that's crazy.
Mad fucking thick. I don't know if you can see that. It's mad thick. But that's what it is. It's the Lost encyclopedia.
As you can tell, Dana has flipped through it quite a bit.
Yes.
And this was
Yeah, it's a little worn and a little frayed and used, but yeah, it's got so much stuff in it that you could possibly like, even stuff about like the flights and stuff, like anything you could think of. It's got little tidbits of all types of Lost goodness in there. And if From is going to be anything like Lost, I wouldn't be shocked if they at the end of the show put out something like this for From.
Yeah, I think
listen,
so.
Dick is saying it too. She would love to have something like that for From. So, guys out there, From writers, creators, folks who made Lost and did this encyclopedia for Lost, please give us one for From when it's all said and done.
Yes, please, because we need that. As a matter of fact, give that shit up now.
Like, just
Give us
continue, like,
something
give
now.
us a volume series, like
If
season
Severance could do
one.
the Lumen Handbook in the first season and give us that shit in the first season, From should have definitely came with something. Those shitty ass missing posters piss me off every time I think about it.
I'm actually, I mean, a lot of people I know are getting frustrated with From. I love that they are being very careful. Like, it almost seems even more careful than Lost was about what they're revealing. And I don't know if it's just because of the amount of episodes and the way they're doing TV shows now compared to when Lost came out. But yeah, because I don't know, Lost was mysterious, but From seems way more mysterious. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's because I've seen Lost now. So I don't know. What do you think, guys? Is Lost more mysterious or
Yo,
less
I got a
mysterious?
screenshot I want to share to y'all from my Discord. This shit was so funny to me. This had me rolling. I laughed and laughed and laughed. I could not stop laughing at this. This had me rolling, yo.
And Choco Beauty, this was here. I'm gonna add that to the screen. The book was, I believe, made from the show writers or the people working on the show, the creators. Dana,
What?
the
DK
encyclopedia.
Yes.
DK had posted that this picture was a spoiler. He had like a spoiler
Yeah.
thing on top of it. And Dieter said, "No spoiler for me. I already knew they could walk." Yo. You talk about somebody who's crying, laughing. I don't know if whether it's because I was high or what. I was smoking on that Fatima's gas pack and blew out a whole mouthful of smoke when I saw that shit.
That's hilarious.
Yes, Miss Vic. They really be trolling us on From. Like, it feels even more like than Lost. It feels like From's playing it even closer to the chest. Like, almost as if they played the game before with Lost, so now it's like they're perfected their strategy.
Oh, you know what else? I want to talk about this. From added another category to the description on IMDb.
Did they now? What?
Supernatural horror.
Well, it's about time. I mean, they went from sci-fi. They don't know what they want to be. That's the problem. No, I'm just kidding. I'm so glad because now we it's defined as supernatural. Yes.
Yes, it's defined as supernatural. They put that in there. The biggest takeaway from that is why in the third season would they do that?
Perhaps, I don't know. Maybe they're wanting to make sure, like
They
maybe
were
they're
hiding
playing
that.
with us, or
They
they're
were
playing with
hiding.
us the whole time because it started off as sci-fi, right?
Exactly. They've been playing with us with the whole time so that they can conceal the nature of the show.
Because I think they really like the alien sci-fi, like, and all those other theories, not just the aliens, but the simulation, all that stuff sort of fit under that sci-fi category. So I know a lot of people were hindering on the fact that the show was categorized as something
Good, thank you.
that's where, like, well, if it's categorized as this, then of course it has to be going down this way. So like I said, it's like these writers really made sure they learned from Lost and they figured out some of these little tricks, because they even say it in what some of the trailers and stuff for like the season, how, and even maybe even the last one where they were kind of joking around or playing like what could it be, and now they're really like kind of like focusing on the dream element of it, where before they kind of talk about other things, dimensional things. So yeah, they definitely want to make sure that they're playing it very close to the vest, and it's very hard to tell what they're giving us is what is going to be truth or what is just going to be something to kind of steer us off the path.
Yeah, they definitely been playing with us the entire time.
Yes,
Even
for
especially
sure.
with especially with the trailers and the teasers. Now here's the thing, right? They didn't do that before.
Hmm.
They didn't do that before. The last year the descriptions pretty much told you that they were going to kill a monster. And it's like, okay, you know, we were waiting to see. And I think that they did that to help induce the theories.
Hmm.
Because like we knew they were going to kill a monster, and so now everybody's theorizing about how it's going to be done and all of that. And so they had this weird way that no one would have expected for them to kill him, right?
Hmm.
So I think that that's the model that they're going with. Like they're trying to lead you in one direction, and they're putting it in your face, but they're still trying to lead you in another direction. I think all the surface level stuff is unreliable with From.
Hmm.
All of it. Everything on the surface is unreliable.
Just
That's
real
mine.
quick, I just want to welcome CJ in the chat. And again, guys, if you would like to join us on panel, because he says Severance is his jam, you are welcome to join. The link is pinned to the top of the chat, guys. Come join us. We're talking Severance From and just a little bit of everything tonight because it is Friday night, and why not?
Yes.
Friday night, Friday
And
night.
like you were saying, real, like all the surface stuff. And I really wish you can give Lost a watch, because if you see all the similarities that actually are pulled into From because of Lost, it's like From is definitely Lost. A lot of people feel the ending was, they didn't like the ending, and I understand that. And I think they're trying to do better with From. They're trying to make sure that From doesn't give anybody those feelings in the end. They want to end on that high note that, okay, they can do a good ending. And I think that nothing's a throwaway in From, down to the littlest details. Nothing is a throwaway, because that's how these creators are, because nothing in Lost was a throwaway. When I tell you they connect everything from the background people to the cup of liquor the lady is drinking in the bar, to it all means something. And that's
Mhm.
why with From, I think they give us so much, because they do make those connections.
I agree. I agree. I'm starting to see, like I said, I haven't dived into Lost. However, I do see what you're saying as far as, I mean, when knowing From how I know From and then watching Lost, I can only imagine how it is for somebody that has watched Lost and now they're seeing From. You see what I mean?
Yes.
I
Yes.
Then you have the
Hmm.
aspect of, if you watched From and you haven't watched Lost and you go watch Lost, within the first two episodes, you see like 20 connections to From,
Yes, that was
Hmm.
Scarlet.
like
Scarlet
right off
was
the
from
bat.
From to Lost, and I was Lost to From.
Real quick,
I'm
guys,
From to
welcome
Lost.
Julie. To
Hey,
Glad to
Julie.
see you, and I'm happy to see you got your avatar. I'm glad that you were able to get that worked out. And again, if you need anything, Julie, if you need any more help with that, let us know. I will help
Yes.
you if you want to create anything else. Just let us know. But if you want to come join us on panel tonight, you are also welcome. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. Sorry, guys. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, that I mean that Lost is definitely clicking with From. I mean, first couple episodes,
Yes.
I noticed a bunch of stuff right off the bat. It's just that Lost is so hard to fuck with. Like it's just, it was one of those network shows that is just kind of like, I don't know. It the way that it is I hate those shows. Like I really thought La Brea was pretty good as well. And it was just the that network nature. I just kind of I just don't like those shows that much. I don't know what it is about it. It's not like it's a low budget, but
Don't
it's
think
low.
of it as nature. It's definitely the nature is only their surroundings.
Yeah, it's a
Because
little bit more than that. It's a little bit more primal than that, I think,
once
or
you get
deeper.
certain aspects, like I don't want to say too much because Julie's in here, but like the flashbacks per se, that's all off island, and that's all
Yeah.
in the regular world. So you're not dealing with the island and like that sort of aspect all the time. So it does have a nice balance to it.
Ty said I asked, did I do the changeling? Yes, I did.
And he also asks, is anyone excited about another Dexter reboot? I don't know if I've seen
Oh
Dexter.
God, not if it's like the garbage they gave us at the. As long as it's better than the garbage that was that other one.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, you're right. I'm trying to change my perception on Lost. Like
I've gotten a few people too.
I think I might later on I might need a couple give me a couple spoilers later on that you think will hook me into it that I'll be looking forward to. Not anything big like but give me
Yes.
some like tell me a little bit about what's going on to get me interested because it's
Did you make it to the hatch?
I don't even know.
All right, the hatch is crazy, man. I don't even know. They don't have to explain it better than me because I don't want to give away good spoilers, bad spoilers. But man, that hatch.
What
Dana.
season is that in?
You get the hatch very quickly. You get the Julie. I just want to make sure she's good. You get several different hatches throughout the season. There is not just one, and you get to see the connection of. Think of the hatches like the town. They're just these mysterious things within this place, or like the hut that Boyd finds the talismans in. It's this mysterious place you really don't know much about, and knowing these people, we're gonna get answers about the hut. Now, it might be the one answer we don't get until the very last episode because they did something like that in Lost. There's a scene in Lost that everybody is so wondering the whole entire time, and you don't get the answer until the series finale. But it was such a good answer that you were just like, that was worth the wait.
This one guy told me on Reddit that or was it in my comment section? He said in my comment section that if I haven't watched Lost, then I really am missing the point on From. And I was like, ooh, that kind of
I get that.
Yeah, there is a part where if you watch it, you will understand where some of the fan theories of the worlds sort of coexist together.
And
like
CJ,
in the same, like they're in the same universe.
To answer his question, don't look at the background characters in From yet as throwaways. Just because you think they have no connection now, you never know what's going to come up down the line that's going to say the connection that they had that you didn't even know they had.
That's the kind of spoilers I'm looking for. That's the kind of spoilers I'm looking for.
Because in Lost, you would think you're watching a scene and there's just these random background people walking around, and you don't know that they have a connection yet until they made something like this Lost Encyclopedia. When I tell you everybody they showed on camera, they have connected to this world.
Yeah, and they kind of gave us a
Nobody, even
little.
the bartender serving the cast member or the person a drink, they have a story and a backstory, and it somehow connects back to this main story on the island of Lost.
Yeah, and they kind of showed us that with Bacta a little bit. Like, she's the bus driver. She wants to get the hell out of there. She's pissed off. She had this thing going on. They had her talk with Jade in a bar. And then next thing you know, she's connected by knowing that damn nursery rhyme.
Hmm.
Yes.
And not just that, I think, and I believe Julie and Sophiel talking about sort of that nightmare realm. It's very possible that not so much a simulation, but some of these background characters are sort of there. And like, if you're in a dream, there are sort of like things that are kind of in the background you just don't pay attention to. They're inconsistent. Like dreams in particular have all these inconsistencies in them. So it is very possible. I like the dream aspects being brought back in with like Julia and Sophiella had been talking about, because I really like the dream aspects more than it being like a simulation, because that just, if it's a dream realm of some kind, that opens up a whole new ballpark of fun.
Yo, CJ makes a great point. At the bottom, he says, "So how many people are in Frumland? There are a lot of people I've only seen in one episode." Yeah, that's true.
Robert Saunders gives a real good breakdown about all the people in Fromville, their counts, and where they're seen, and like what episode and their connection to some stuff. So if you go into Jeremy's Discord, there's a way you can see his archived theories, because BK archived some of his stuff, and he has something he calls like the number theory, and it has to do with all the people in From, and like how many there are and when we see them and all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, man. You know, I I was talking to this guy in Jeremy's first watch party, and he was making some very good points. He was making some funny points too. He said, how the fuck do the Matthews get a house in town? But like, think about, well, he was saying some other stuff that was real, like the NPC situation, and how there are not enough houses for all the people that actually live in town. Now, Colony House, it looks like they be sleeping on the steps and all types of shit in Colony House. You see them sleeping on the steps, you see them laying all in the hallways and shit. When Boyd came to see Ellis, like, I mean, Colony House looks like a crack house. But at the same time, there are not enough houses for the people down in town, unless they're laying around all in the living room and the dining room on the dining tables and shit. That's the only way I could see it. But when you look at Reggie and Paula, was the only two people living in Sarah's house, and then like they're not enough houses for all the people that we see in town. Um, and there are scenes in From where you'll see people walking, and they're walking in the same direction, and their arms and legs are moving at the same time. Then you'll see they'll all stop at the same time, turn around, they're doing the same motion. Um, yo, I don't I'm not saying that it's a definite that there's some sort of simulation. However, the direction is definitely being made like that to make you think so.
But there was a point in Lost where you could have said the same thing, that it's some form of simulation in some sense. So I think that when it comes to From, it's definitely, and I hate to say the word pocket dimension, but I definitely think it is a unique place that is accessible from our regular world. And it's just a matter of the magic within it that's making it this way. Because in Lost, there is a reason. The island is its own it's alive in a sense. It matters just as much as the people and everything else that's happening around.
I
The
agree
island
with-
itself plays such a big part in the balance of the real world. I think From is a similar place. That if this place gets fucked up and whatever's there can seep out into the real world, it could be catastrophic.
Like, okay, I agree with Ty Briggs. I would be disappointed if From is a simulation or a dream. I would be very disappointed in that. Um, However, I also see that From side characters are like NPCs. You also agree with what we're saying here. Now, there could be two things. There could actually be three. It's a shitty simulation, and I don't think they're that lazy enough to do something like that. However, if they do it, here's the second option. They do it in a really good way that it's very unique, because they've been doing a lot of things that have been very unique, like the history and the Native American stuff and the slavery shit with the Civil War and all of that. Like, they're definitely talking about slavery if you're bringing up Black Civil War soldiers. Like, you know, they've been doing it in a way that has been very creative. So if they do it creative, and then the third option is maybe they're directing it in this way so that we think that shit. You know what I'm saying? But it is one of those subtle notes. Like when Victor walks up on the porch to give Ethan that jacket, somebody walks up on the other porch right down the street and knocks on the door just like Victor. And then Victor goes and knocks on the door just like the person did it. It was crazy. I was like, hold on, what the fuck? I'm seeing this everywhere. I'm seeing people walking around with umbrellas and shit. I'm seeing people walking around. Everybody's has a bag that they're walking around with. And they haven't explained anything like saying, well, you know, we keep this with us at all times or anything. You always want to have a change of clothes in a bag because you never know when it gets dark where you're going to be. And you might have to run into somebody's house, or you might have to stay the night with somebody or something. They never explain anything why people walking around with bags. Like, what the fuck is that about? Like, why does everybody walk around with a bag? Do you just walk around with a bag, male and female, just walking around with bags in a place like this? Like, I could see, like, when you go out into the city and you walking through the city, you might want to have your bag, your knapsack, something like that. But we're talking about this place right here is somewhere where your ass gotta be in at nighttime. You know, there's a diner where everybody eats at. Like, why do you have a bag walking around in this place? It's some NPC shit. Now, I agree. I would definitely be disappointed. However, if they come off with the smoothness and the original creative shit that they're doing, I don't think I'll be too angry about it. I think that it's some sort of video game if it is a simulation. And I'll land right there.
I could see the simulation theory, and I see why a lot of people have it. I'm just looking at it from all the information I know of the showrunners, and I just don't think that's a way that they're going to go. I think they're trying to throw us off, and they are the type of people, and what they're doing with From. That's what a lot of stuff is. They want us to have so many theories that the theory that is just smacking you in the face gets hidden.
Right. I think that the American history part is the part that's like hidden in a way that it's smacking you in the face. You know what I'm saying? The Jim Crow shit, like what Ty Briggs is saying, the Jim Crow shit, Jim acting like the crow, the bottle trees was a tradition from Black Southerners. You know what I'm saying? The talismans, all of these different things, like that shit is definitely talking about history. These are historical, actual things, and they don't show it to us in a way where they show it just like that. But the choice for the Black Civil War soldier, they definitely talking about the Civil War. The Civil War was about slavery. That's a history thing. You have Alexander Graham Bell. You have Boyd's Key, the post office, Ben Franklin, the speech in the church. The speech in the church was just like Thaddeus Stevens, and Boyd's last name is Stevens. Thaddeus Stevens um, was portrayed by what's the guy, Tommy Lee Jones, in a movie one time about Lincoln. And man, that shit looked just like the speech that Boyd had in the church. I said, yo, this looks like Tommy Lee Jones from Lincoln. And I was like, what was the name of his character? And I couldn't remember what it was. And I went and looked it up, and I seen that his name was Thaddeus Stevens. And he was also in an interracial relationship and everything. I was like, man, get the fuck out of here. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I was like, this is a connection for sure, because he was coming with the same fire, you know. So if they pull off, I think if they can pull that off in the way that they pulled that off, they've done that like no other show has done that. The only thing close to it is The Shining, and that's a movie. Stanley Kubrick did kind of like the same thing. But I think if they can pull that off in this such a creative way, they can pull off a simulation theory in a creative way. We have to have some sort of sci-fi in this, because they definitely have that there. I think that, in my opinion, time travel could be sci-fi. I think we definitely have that. That would cover it. That would cover sci-fi. We got time travel. So that covers the sci-fi aspect. It doesn't have to be like aliens or, you know, a shared dream or any kind of shit like that. Like, you know, it is what it is, though. We'll see.
Welcome, Rozzy. Hope you're having an awesome day.
Yes, what's up, Razzie?
Rozzy, how you doing?
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff from like I definitely could see it, not so much being kind of the way Julie describes it, not so much that they're all in a dream together, but that this place is sort of a dimension or realm that where you have sort of this kind of dream realm, especially if you start looking in some of the nightmare lore and stuff like that. Because I even found like this chick that sort of she actually can bring back, or she controls the dead or the spirits, the ghosts. She can make people see visions and nightmares. She can bring the dead to where we can see them. One of her symbols is torches. And just like she basically was like, there's very few myths about her. Like, it's one of those gods that you don't like read a lot about, so they have very few like stories or tales. But from what they have, like, this chick was kind of wow. So, and a lot of those elements sort of fit into From, and just the thought that this could be something like that, to me, is creepy, because it's just like when they talk about the like who was it, the bartender possibly talking about the physics, and we're not, and Jay not understanding, like, no, there are rules to this world, you just don't understand it. Makes me think of it as some other kind of dimension or realm or place that they are in. Even possibly, I really thought it could have been like a cursed place where you sort of, the same way they do it in Silent Hill, where there was this catastrophic event that happened that sort of made the town into this cursed realm, where, yeah, you can kind of go back in between, but it's not like an easy in between. You had to do certain things. They even had, like in the movie at one point, like this little key symbol stone thing. So there's so many possibilities with the show. I definitely enjoy the fact that they're playing it very close to the chest, so that we as fans can sort of have these theories and really kind of deep dive. And then from that, we're able to do, like, just for me personally, all the research that goes behind it. So you're learning whether your theory is right or wrong. It's the fact that you're gaining kind of knowledge as you're going through the show. And I really enjoyed those shows because they kind of feel like they help you grow in your knowledge. It makes it fun for someone like me to read and kind of learn these things a little bit more, or want to feel like you have even more of a reason to deep dive. Just for folks who maybe have a little bit harder time wanting to go through some of these documents and needing that little extra incentive, the shows like this really make you go and just, I mean, God, all the different kind of things that we've learned just from everybody in the Discords over there at Jeremy's and in yours, all the different things that people have brought to the table with their theories and the research behind it's really good stuff.
Yo, I mean, I agree with you 100% about it being some sort of dimension for sure. Like, there's definitely like, I mean, it's closed off where to the point to where they can't get out. You know, we don't. Well, they can get out,
They
but
can
it's
get out.
closed off in a way that
Mm-hmm.
it's
They don't have access to it.
right. They
It's a
don't
very
have access.
specific. It's almost as if there's a very specific way to do it, and that's why I
Right.
was like the same way they kind of had it in the
Lost.
movie in Lost, but also in the movie Silent Hill, because like the girl was trapped there, but yet they split her into two, right? They were able to
Yeah.
split into two versions of herself, and just all. And I know it was a video game and stuff like that, but just the way they kind of depicted it in the movies was really interesting because they have a catastrophic event that happens. You know, the girl is seemingly sacrificed, right? It's the same way we see the kids seemingly sacrificed to Seven, which we still don't know. You know, there's so many ways you could go with that in the show, but I just like the parallel of the fact that they kind of use the same. You have these kids. I know in Silent Hill was one. Now we have Seven, sort of like a sacrifice, and then through a bad deed. Like the town thought they were doing something good, although they were psychotic and crazy because it was like cult-like, it was religious. We have those sort of elements in From, as well as on the cave drawings. They have sort of this depiction of how people came and how they worshipped something, and it's almost as if something went wrong, and then From was created. So that's sort of the parallels I see with that. And then you layer it with the nightmare sort of realm, and you get this sort of mix between this cursed place and this nightmare or just dream realm in general. And I like the overlay of that.
Yes, I do too. Let me ask you for another spoiler real quick. This is not a big one for Lost, and I'm coming to Dana for this one. CJ says that this place is he's beginning to think that this place is sentient.
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of agree with that. We had Nathan said that. Sarah repeated it. The boy in white says it as well. Is Lost a sentient place?
Yes.
Okay, nice. I kind of felt that way when you like I kind of felt that way. And you know that this place, okay, never mind. I'm not even gonna ask that for that spoiler because that'd be pretty big. But but I'm gonna now with those two spoilers that you've given me, I think that looking forward to those aspects of Lost, I can watch this as research for From. The only
Yes.
problem is I don't see myself doing it until after the season's over.
Which is fine, because then you could get like a full parallel of watching them side by side. Because I definitely think that from there's a point where a character in Lost makes a statement, and the statement that she makes very much is what makes me think that they could possibly share a universe in a sense, because that's also a big thing that these movie shows, they're liking the universe aspect and connecting more than one thing to a unified story or a place or time or something to that show. And people like that too. They like being able to see shows and stuff cross over and become a bigger story. I definitely think that From and Lost are in the same universe in a sense, because the statement that she makes is that what makes you like there's more than one place in our world like the island.
Okay, all right. I heard that. I heard about
you got to get to that scene, because that scene is so. Oh, it's
I heard
packed
about that.
full.
Yeah, I heard about that from Scarlett actually.
And the character that says it is Eloise on Lost.
Yes, that's it.
Oh,
That
shit.
whole scene, when you get to that scene in Lost, and you get to see the visuals and how they explain it. Yeah, and then you'll understand what people talk about with the boy in white and the dark entity. You'll understand
Yes.
that later on in the series. I'll say there's a radio.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I think my first time trying to watch it, I got that far.
And when you find out
Oh,
Mhm.
who the
and it was
voice,
just a
like,
recording and shit like that,
no, it
right?
was an
No,
actual,
it's it.
like somebody
Oh
used the
yeah.
radio and got
And
an
they were
actual
talking in French,
response.
right?
No.
It's so beautiful. You'll find out when you watch it. The
Yeah.
way they put in things like that, and then the payout, I found very interesting. Very good. Not bad, but just I don't want to. Oh, I don't want to ruin it, because if people who like if you really do end up watching it, I don't want to ruin like the moments for you, but there's so many in there. They're so good. Like,
Okay, I have one more question for Dana then.
Sure.
In the show, now after looking at the actual encyclopedia for the show,
Hmm.
is it referencing history in any way?
Yes.
That's what I needed. That's what I needed.
Back to ancient times.
ancient
Okay,
Egypt.
yes. Oh, yes. We are, yeah. All right. We locked in, y'all. We locked in. I'm about to go full head. I'm about to dive into Lost after the season 3 is over with. From I'm about to watch that whole shit, and I am about to be. Yeah. I'm about to hop on it. I'm about to hop on this.
It's
That's what I
very
need.
worth it. And when you watch it, especially with the way you and Taryn think things are going, it's interesting. I'm
Taryn
curious
is
to
messaging me
see
right now. As a matter of fact.
your reaction to when you get the payoff in
Mhm.
Lost, because a lot of the theories that were out there were very big, and then when you get the answer, it's still big, but it's so simple. Like, and it's so simple you don't think about it, because your brain is on this, well, if they're bringing that in, then it's got a link to that. And when you get the answer, you're like, holy shit, that actually makes sense.
I have been like, I don't know. I've been just like, I've been so immersed into From,
Mhm.
and I'm working on a few things that I'm going to drop them before the season starts again. So when I get on, let me tell you something. When I catch on to Lost and I get into it, you're gonna you're gonna you're gonna look at me as somebody that is on board with the Lost crew right now. Like, yo, Taryn just sent me this message. He said 10-4 below. Feel free to ignore.
So it's just like, man, if you're a From fan, then odds are you're working on a tenfold theory of something.
Oh yes, it's that. Now that you've confirmed that it has something to do with history all the way back into ancient times, I have
Yes.
to watch, because ancient deities
Mhm.
have been interpreted with the same
Mhm.
characteristics in multiple places all over the planet.
I'm trying so hard, Dana. This is difficult.
I
All
know.
right, all right, yeah, yeah. So and so now what the guy was saying in my comment section makes a lot of sense. He was like, yo, I really fuck with your theories, but the fact that you don't watch Lost and the fact that you haven't watched Lost, you are missing a major piece.
Mhm.
Yes.
And so now with the spoilers that you've given me that aren't really spoilers, for me, they're just motivation to watch this shit and use it as a research tool.
Yes.
I'll get through all of the campy bullshit with the flashbacks and the network show appeal. I'll get through it.
Yes. If you can at least get to season 4,
Mhm.
that's where it ramps up.
Oh, dude, and you think you
The
love the
first 3
puzzle?
seasons are the build up and the little dangling of the carrot to be like, don't you want to know this answer? Don't you want to know this? Oh, look at this. And in season 4, you just go into overdrive.
It's so wild, the things they start revealing, the mysteries, the sort of like puzzles they give you for you to figure out. And like so mad at myself for not being on the Lost train when it came out, because hearing Dana and other people talk about it, like when it came out and the stuff that, because they give you stuff during the season for you to figure out, like right, Dana, outside of the show, sort of like little Easter hunt kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And when they when you watch through it and Dana kind of explains, oh yeah, that was this, and everybody was trying to put all that stuff together, and they were doing it in Jeremy's. That's what hooked me, because they were posting about it, and I don't care about spoilers so much with any show for the most part, because
Right, so
I'm gonna rewatch it anyways.
I got one more question. Then I need this one right here, because I noticed a few things in season 1, and if it's when they're talking about the boar, the wild boar,
I'm gonna
and all
just
of
show
that
you
stuff.
something. You saw the maps we kind of mess around with and from.
Yeah.
This is just an example. I don't know if my camera hit of. Is my thing not turning on? Hold on. There we go. Of one of the maps that you get to mess with in Lost.
Oh, that's dope. I think
And the reveal of it is insane.
The From maps are a little doper because they're like drawn with the children's crayons and shit like that. But this one is pretty dope. And
But this map makes sense. Once you watch the show, you will understand what this map is.
Okay, so now I think that I'm gonna make a prediction. I've noticed some things in Lost that I haven't heard anybody talk about yet. And it's gonna sound a lot like my From theory, but it's from the creators of Lost. So that's why I think this is in here. Are they talking about Australian Aboriginal and what happened to them on their island?
Say that again. You broke up on me.
The Aboriginals.
Okay.
Because
what about them?
Well, they talk about the boar, and then they talk about killing the boar with the knife. Going in the woods to kill the boar with the knife is an Australian Aboriginal rites of passage for the young males.
Yes.
Okay. So I noticed that, and then I noticed that they were coming from Australia when their plane crashed, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So that's a rites of passage, going to kill the boar and all of that kind of stuff. If I'm not mistaken, it's for young male or somebody that's want to be a hunter or some shit like that.
Yes, it's typically something that a young male does when they're ready to almost take over or become a man.
Yeah, like they're getting to adulthood kind of thing.
Right.
Their life.
So they deal with a lot of history and ancient mythology and stuff
Very
like
much
that.
so.
And so it's definitely in From as well. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, they definitely, if you really pay attention to Lost, the island in a way is sort of guiding. There's people there that are doing things, and then there's this other element that is sort of guiding people in a sense.
There is only one native inhabitant of the island. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think that as I walk through this show and watch and observe, I'm going to see more things that talk about the Australian Aboriginals. I know they get into dreams heavy like they get on to From, right?
Not as heavy, but they're more so they're heavy into visions.
Yeah, they think more day stuff, like not necessarily dreams. Yeah, more visions.
So the Australian Aboriginals were also very into visions and dreams. They had something called Aboriginal Dream Time, where they were all able to like go and meet in these dreams, where they could like, if you were having a dream and I'm having a dream at the same time, we can go into the same dream and talk. And
this was sort of like the island was talking to them.
Yes. Because
sort of like how Boyd
is a lot.
Sort of how From
Boyd lit the torch and he was there where, Marielle and Julie and them were in there screaming.
It's sort of, it's more like how, it's with From, it's more direct, I think. With Lost, it was almost, not all of it was subtle, but it seemed more like it wasn't as much like, at first it's not, you don't know that it's a vision because it's not so much violence. It's just this guidance. It's this weird guidance. Now some of them are kind of crazy, but there was just this weird guidance that when they had these visions, as if the island was trying to test them to see if they were. Dang it, I'm gonna start saying things I shouldn't be saying, Dana. Give away secrets, trade secrets. So the island has some trade secrets.
Yes.
There's a sweat lodge to induce the vision and what? Get out of here. That's crazy. Imagine having a beer with Real and Dane Calloway. If you know, you know. Oh my God, what is that? CJ knows.
They even have ancient buildings.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Me and Dane Calloway would be a dope. I gotta have Dane Calloway on my show. I gotta get a whole show together for him. And I have to make it in a way that it works, whether or not he's seen From or not. And I would love him to go dig deep into the whole freedmen and freemen thing, because that's something that I've been studying for so long. Like, my family has a historian that looked and found our heritage to a woman named Easter Nelson, who's a descendant of Pocahontas. And I just have been, and after I learned all of that stuff, I came across Dane Calloway when he first got started, and he was going against people like the Amun Ra Squad and stuff. But Dane Calloway definitely is here to make you think. If you know, you know. CJ in the building. That's what's up. Hey, y'all. Let's get a couple more likes in here. We need 4 more likes. Let's get them likes up. Share this live. This conversation is so dope. It's from Severance.
Yeah, dude. Thank you. Honestly, real thank you for coming on with us tonight.
This
This has been a lot of fun. Honestly, I'm so glad we got some. Oh, we got somebody else. This is awesome, Data.
Yeah, let's go.
What is up, CJ? Welcome to the panel. Welcome. Hope you're having an awesome Friday night.
I am. It was a surprise to see y'all. I was actually watching the game, so you guys just totally distracted me. But
we do that here. Me and Dana, we derail things from time to time.
Yes.
Yeah, it's nice
When we
to
start talking, it gets really.
nice to finally talk to you guys officially. So it's nice. I just want to say nice to meet y'all. Real, what's up, my boy? What it is, what it ain't, what's it finna be?
Oh, it's all that. You know what I'm saying? And everything in between. Yes, indeed, brother. We in
Already.
Here. Have you seen Lost, CJ?
Say again?
Have you seen Lost?
I watched it like the first few seasons, but I was like, my life during those years, I wasn't able to be sitting in front of a TV once a week at a specific time. So I kind of lost track of it.
Here. Same exact story. Like the way life was at that time when people was talking about Lost, I couldn't even get into it. I was running around, you know what I'm saying? And I lost something. The last thing on my mind was a television show. Sad enough to say, it was the same for me with The Wire. I didn't catch The Wire because I was so busy running around, you know what I'm saying? The 90s was crazy. I didn't see The Wire and I didn't see Lost.
I caught way too much of The Wire. It's funny because I kind of like boycott like prison commercials. That's what I call those shows. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's funny because one of my relatives is an actress and she was on a pretty big show based on prison, and I didn't really watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like I watched like the pilot because I just don't like seeing people locked up, you know? That lifestyle being glorified. But yeah, man. Yeah, you guys are doing
You watch From?
Huh?
You watch From?
I'm so sorry, I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat that?
You watch From?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's in Real's Discord. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
are you in
Bro,
Jeremy's
from
here?
that-
Like I see them around. I'm just saying, like, then you should really watch Lost.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking about going back to watch it. Like I've been like binging way too much TV, but
Mhm.
like I'm thinking like I'm starting to wonder if they might be in the same universe because they keep putting that up every week from the creators of Lost. You know what I'm saying? And then Lost from the same
The
type. I'm
premiere
like,
date of From this year is on the same day that Lost debuted when it debuted.
Bam, Dana. Sorry.
yeah.
Oh yeah. So y'all got to watch it. Julie, we love you, but man, when you get to the scene with Eloise and Lost, it is all revealed why they are in a universe together.
Yeah, it's funny though. Like, and I'm gonna pivot to another show real quick. I just started watching that Chaos on Netflix. Have you guys seen that?
I haven't seen that one yet.
I saw it, but I didn't check it out yet. Is it good?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of freaky. The Greeks was some freaks. I'll leave it at that. But Harold's daughter is in that show. And there's a big talisman in that show too. It's so weird, you know. I don't know, but it's a pretty interesting show. But I wanted to just dive into this little NPC thing though.
Sure.
Like I was rewatching, I think it was the first episode of season 1. And that's when it kind of hit me because I've watched these 2 seasons, like, I don't know, maybe 3 times trying to figure it out. And there was a interracial couple that was in the diner. And, Sarah told them to get out. You know what I'm saying? And, it's time to leave. She was like, and that was in the first few acts of the first episode. And she ushered this couple out. And I'm like, we never see the same people consistently. And
saw her again. The girl you talking about.
Yeah, I never saw her again.
I seen her again. She's in a bunch of episodes actually.
She's the lady that's walking with like
somebody different, and it's always another like background character that she's with every time.
Okay, so she is the consistent one. So I didn't see them. But the point that, but it was just so weird. Like, it's just giving me kind of like a video game type of vibe, though. Because these people, they don't really interact with the main characters. And I'm like, where are all these random people coming from? Like, how many people, like, real? Do we know, like, what's the population of Frumlin, including Colony House?
I've tried so many.
Yes, Robert, we have that information in Jeremy's Discord. If you at Robert Saunders, he has a whole spreadsheet of all the numbers in Lost of people and what episodes.
What about the numbers in From?
Did I not say From? I meant From.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you said Lost.
Sorry, I got lost on the brain now.
Oh, no problem. No, yeah, okay. So he has the all right. So I gotta go.
I was gonna say
I'm up to 50 people at least.
And Julie, thank you for hanging with us.
And then they only lost a few people at the Colony House massacre, and then a whole bus came in.
Yep.
And they only lost a few of those people, so that added at least there was 25 people on the bus. So that added at least another 20 people because they only lost a few people that night.
Population control.
So what the hell? Like, I don't know. I'm up to like 50 people, and I don't see. And the people that live in town, and the people that live in Colony House, there is not enough houses for the people in town at all. So it does give video game vibes, and But okay, what's the video game movie where it was like a video game, but it was in over real people's lives? Even when you
Ready Player One.
Yeah, that's the headset. That was that VR stuff I was talking about.
Okay, so if they did it on some shit like that, but they did it in a more creative way, like when you look at video games like Mortal Kombat, the old school Mortal Kombat actually used real people. They didn't make digital like they videotaped these people doing the moves and they inserted that shit into the video game. They're real images.
Mm-hmm.
So like if they did some shit like that, I wouldn't be mad at it. And the excuse has to make sense. Like if they
Mm-hmm.
had an excuse for doing it, like there was this ancient magic shit that they had to fucking
Contain.
or observe it and see what the hell it was. They discovered this thing or this pocket dimension, and the government was observing it in some kind of way. I wouldn't be mad at that. That would be a really good reason.
Yeah, and
Real quick, guys, I just want to tell Julia bye real quick. She's got to run. Thank you for joining us tonight. Hope you have an awesome night. And also, let's see. So Robert said 31, and I think Bitey's saying he thinks there is 74 people in Fromville. There was a ton of Ty says there was a ton of people in Colony House. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people. It could be kind of a lot. Yeah, Peripheral. That was good too. They're doing all these weird shows now with this same sort of like variation of technology that is scary. Because Peripheral was pretty creepy too. Did y'all check that show out?
No.
I checked it out, but I don't really remember it. I remember it got canceled too early.
It did, and I was sad about that actually.
But
yeah.
What about this connection though? I kind of alluded to it in the chat. You got Toby and Jade, they represent big corporations. And you have Abby and Boyd, and the name Brian Kelly, that's military. Like could it be some sort of like DARPA experiment or something like that, a joint venture between the government and the military? I could definitely kind of see something like that, because for the life of me, like I can't figure it out, and it kind of like bugs me, because usually I'm the type of person, like halfway through the movie or through a series, I can predict everything, and I can't do
it. Yeah, Lost definitely has a few factions that are going on. It's not just so much the government or like corporations, military, government kind of thing. There are aspects of that. I think it's a little bit, it's because there's different levels. Trying to say it without saying too much, but there's definitely sort of this people who are sort of like protecting, and then people who want to take advantage of what the island offers. And then from that, you sort of get these different factions.
Yes.
But definitely.
I could see that possibly an entity outside of Fromville, whether it be corporation, whether it be government, knows From exists.
Mm-hmm.
I find that very highly unlikely if they didn't. Especially
after what they showed us in the trailer, right? Like we know if where Tabitha is the outside, and if people are aware of it, then I'm sure there's got to be a bigger sense of this place in the government.
Now, whether they can get to it, like fuck with it, do stuff, that I don't know, and we haven't seen any particular signs that they're doing that. But I definitely think there is outside places high up in whatever aspect, government or just rich people, companies that know From exists.
Now, whether they can figure out how to get to it or not yet.
That's a different
because that's
story.
kind of something, again, in Lost. Once they figured out how to get there, that's when the game opened up for outside influences to try to take advantage of it. But there was this particular way to do it, right, Dana? You couldn't just get there.
Yeah.
Particular means
like
of travel.
So many factors have to line up.
The NPC vibe was starting to make me think of like a whole new term, video game tourism, where they're just observing the game, and they're the NPCs that are
in Lost. Obviously, there's a plane crash, and the very first scene in the opening thing when you get your first flashback of somebody like seeing something, you see the plane clearly split in half. So, and they landed on two separate parts of the island. You always saw background people, like just other survivors from the plane crash. And every so often they would bring you stories that would pop up of like randos that you knew nothing about and didn't even ever see them, maybe in a background shot, or you're like, where the fuck did they come from? Or like, did this person go? So I could definitely see the background characters here. Not that they're background characters or NPCs, but they're pullable stories that they can pull in at any time, and they can pop in people at any time because they don't really show the true aspect. We have what we think is a number just based off of the shots and the people in those shots that From has let us see. You don't know how many people that are truly there that are off camera, in a sense, that will just pop up at some point. Like even at the end, I forget the name of the two people, the guy and the girl who got the cicada or whatever bust out of her chest, and her husband like kind of lost his mind. Their names are, I forget their names at this point. We never saw them ever. And we had a big debate of whether they were on the bus or whether they were in the town. And consensus came to be that they were from the town.
Yeah, they had a house.
They went into Sarah's house after she had like left from it. Remember Sarah went to go get her brother's clothes?
Yep.
But we were trying to figure out, were they bus arrivals or were they in the town the entire time? Because I thought they were on the bus, but consensus had it that they were townsfolk. I'm still a little wishy-washy on it, but consensus is they were townfolk. So there's your thought right there. They're two people we've never seen in a background shot. We've never can go back and say, oh, there they are, spotted them, or do something. It was a lot of theories to why they were from the town. So if they are from the town, that shows you that they can pull in people at any time that we just might not have seen.
And just even like piggybacking off of that, Dana, in Lost, there's a point where they discover more of the island and they find a town, just like we do in From. We see in season 3, we're going to find this mysterious cabin town. Well, they do sort of discover a town that is there. And I'm not going to reveal everything about this town, but there's a certain number of housing. Well, there's characters there, and some of these characters seemingly are background characters that then are brought forth similar to how the bus driver in From is. But then there's other characters that are always kind of back there. But when I watched Lost, I wasn't counting the people in the houses, but had I really looked at how are these people here? Where do they come from? Because they make a notion that all these people that live in this town, they are not just there by accident. They have a backstory with them. And I don't know if the encyclopedia kind of goes into that more, but you don't always, it's almost as if the show they kind of bring things in and out to have as I want to say filler to make the scene or the shot seem fuller or to seem lesser of people. So I don't know if From is doing that same sort of thing that Lost kind of did. And you know what I'm talking about, right? Data the Town.
Mm-hmm.
It's where our good pal Michael Emerson takes refuge. So it's interesting because, like I said, if you really pay attention to certain similarities, and now if you look at how Lost, okay, we know Lost when it came out was a time when TV series were longer in episodes, as well as even just the seasons. They had more seasons. So if you try to say how do I want to say this? You know how you convert 5th edition and 4th edition in D&D? I think of it the same way. So if you convert sort of that series from its time to where a TV series is now, so Lost to From, if you're following that sort of conversion, they are following a very similar path in how they were revealing things. Also, it's similar to how now we see in the trailer that we're going to see this new cabin/town. It sort of was revealed in a similar way, I think, in Lost.
Yes.
All these sort of things line up when you really kind of step back and look at it. Now, whether they are in the same universe, I teeter back and forth because they made sure in Lost that they have left it open for other possible islands that have this sort of powerful connection to them, but they're not the same as the Lost Island. They all have their sort of unique quality to them. And just the fact that when you showed the similarities to Ben Michael Emerson in the photo reel for the boy in white, the bigger version of him or whatever that image, to me, I don't know if they're just doing heavy on Easter eggs because it would be such a fun thing for the Lost fans going into the From fans, or if this connection is a lot more real than we think.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the Easter eggs, it's almost past Easter egg level, right, Dana? Like, there's Easter eggs, such as, like, to me, the Edgar Allan Poe kind of things, Stephen King things. To me, these might be just Easter eggs, sort of because the writers and folks like these things. And if they had just had a few Lost references, I would say those are Easter eggs because the writers were writers from Lost. They wanted to kind of give something to the fans. But as we've been watching, it's piling up to past the point of just little Easter eggs.
Yes. Very much so.
Oh, and Real, you got to go. Awesome, man. I'm so happy that you came, and I hope you had a good time. I had an awesome time, man. We got to have you back.
Yes. I know we're probably going to
Yes, indeed. I got to, it's going to be a lot of noise in here in a minute, so I got to run real quick. But I definitely enjoyed myself. I had a great time.
Yes.
Yes.
And I will definitely love to come back. And yeah, you guys got it. Let me know next time, like when you're doing this. Let me know your next live
Typically,
day.
these are my Friday night fever hours, or when we typically really. That was like my starting night was always, and I always try to do a Friday night.
Post it in the Discord.
I know I'm terrible about that, man. I've got to get better habits when it comes to like the social media stuff, like remembering that thing. I got to get a better muscle memory kind of thing.
And all you ladies got to get together and do a From stream. I'd love to, be in the chat on that one.
Yes.
Later, Bitey. I see you later. Ty, Chocolate Beauty, Star. Who else is in here with us? Julie B. I know she already left.
Mm-hmm.
CJ.
Yeah, because Jeremy's live.
Yeah, Jeremy. Yeah, guys. Yeah, Jeremy's doing a live right now, so go check him out because we're probably going to wrap up soon. Because I know we wanted to go over there and at least say hey over there tonight.
And tell him I said peace. I won't be able to come in there, but tell him I said what's up. I just came off you guys live. And tell him I said what's up. Best wishes, peace and wellness, everybody over there. I wish I could join, but I'm about to get into something real quick.
Yeah, no, he just celebrated 25K. So congratulations to Jeremy, guys. We're definitely going to be heading over there after we wrap it up here. But yes, Real, we got to do this again. Like I said, me and Dana are fixing to go heavy into From. We're going to get the From cap on, because I feel like From you got to go all in, right? You can't just like half have the hat on. You got to be full on, ready to dive into it. And I think we're ready to do that.
Yes.
Hey, yo, Real.
Yo.
Before you cut out, like, are you gonna be doing merch?
Yes, I do have some merch. Actually, I took the website down because it wasn't really doing anything good. So, but I am going to put the merch back up on the YouTube. I'm gonna put it on my YouTube page.
Hey, I'm gonna drop you like an email. What's the best way to reach you? Via email or the Discord?
We already locked in on Discord, so you could DM me. We could even talk there. Easy.
All right, bad, because I got a couple of ideas. I think might get a few dollars in your pocket. But yeah, ladies, thank you so much for having me. Real. Yes. I'm gonna see you when I see you guys, and I'm gonna let you guys go and let you guys wrap it up. You guys did a great job. I'm gonna keep supporting y'all.
Oh, man, yes.
Thank you, man. Both of y'all, thank you so much for joining us tonight, because that's what makes these lives, extra special. Getting to hang out with all sorts of folks and getting to kind of see what you guys think, because I like to hear what other people think. I love collaboration. Yeah, that was what got us into this.
I love it. Yes, indeed. Y'all doing great.
All right, I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all have a good night, everybody.
Good night, man. Thanks again.
Absolutely. Peace.
Peace. Yes, guys, we are going to get ready to wrap it up with that because I know Jeremy is live and we definitely want to go check him out and see what is really going on with the From community. We got to get the From hat on.
Yep.
And who knows, we'll put Severance. We'll do another one maybe down the line as we get closer to season 2. And who knows, maybe if we can work it out, we'll do a watch party right before so we can really dive into it. And maybe because I know I've got to do some more research on the book that document, that PDF file. That was,
I gotta read that shit.
I gotta read it. I gotta get some notes, Dana.
Yep.
But it's okay because I'm gonna get all that together and we'll put a pin in that.
Post-its.
Yes.
All that.
We're gonna put a pin in Severance for now. We're gonna get our notes together so that way we come back. We're gonna see where this Severance show is going to lead us. So it was in January, right? On Apple
January
Plus.
16th.
So I believe it comes out on Apple Plus, right? I think I had that right.
Yes.
So go check it out if you have not already. And if you have, then get ready because I'm going to start posting some stuff. I do have some things in the Discord, some channels for different shows, and I'm going to try to work that out a little bit better so maybe it's not as cluttered. But we're definitely going to start. If you guys want some shows that you want us to talk about, make sure that you post in the Discord. I have a channel for that. And that way it kind of helps us keep track of where we're going. But we're definitely going to get ready to dive into From, Dana, and I cannot wait.
Me neither.
Me and Dana have been like holding back,
From and Lost and
I got to get to the picture up because they put the peaches in that shot, Dana, and I'm still debating, was that peach can in that behind the scenes photo with Kenny, is that like, did they do that to like mess with folks like me, or was that like real? Or does that mean that not Kenny, but Victor was with them and he was drawing stuff that he saw? And it means nothing. There was no food there. He just like literally, because he has a can, for his crayons, and she's like the peach can.
Yes.
And, he went traveling with them because he's worried about Tabitha.
Yeah, like I'm ready. I'm itching. So I can't wait just to spew all the Lost stuff that I've had bottled up inside me.
I know. You see, I didn't do as well as I should have tonight. I was saying all kinds of spoilers. I apologize. It's hard though because it's almost parallel, right? Like in a sense, the way they're doing this. So you can see why they're the writers from Lost and From.
You sure as hell can.
But again, guys, thank you all for joining us tonight. It has been a blast, and we're gonna wrap it up, and we will be back to do some D&D this weekend. And then I'm going to try to set up a better schedule for next week to do some From streams. I know I want to make sure I got some of our notes written down, but I'm thinking maybe a Monday or Tuesday night stream to start. And then, of course, we always will have a Friday night of something. But we'll see where we get to. We'll figure it out, and I'll try to get all that posted in the Discord for you guys. But again, thank you, Dana, as always. In chat, you guys are awesome. Dana,
I wouldn't be anywhere else.
You guys are the best part of this. So I'm gonna play this for you guys before we close it out, because just in remembrance, Dana, because we're all winners. We have to remember.
George.
It's the memories.
George. Yes, but this was fun as always.
Yes. Well, good night, guys, and we will see you all on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Paint me a scene, city in color, the way that you see, the way you see it. Don't you wish that I could give you? I could give you everything. 1, 2, 3, and my heart is racing. Can't fall asleep, I got my mind in a throw. Weightless, floating through the day. Trust that I'll be okay. I'm happy alone, but a little close. Waiting for you. Wait until you realize could run